protecting your mind. There ain't no reason for the fantasize. The moment's here and that's all realize.
And here we go. All right, everybody, welcome to the Comments from the Peanut Gallery podcast. I'm here with two very special guests today. Why don't you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm Kat Johnson. I am the manager, event coordinator, and membership coordinator here at Factory X and wife of Youssef.
Youssef, aka the Moroccan Devil, Zalal, and then I'm the husband of Kat Johnson.
So for those of you out there who are just joining the party, Youssef is one of the original CFTPG Comments from the Peanut Gallery athletes. He's also an undefeated pro out of Factory X here in Denver at 6-0 right now, all 6 finishes. How's it feel, man? Coming off of a big win this last weekend.
It's I already visioned this one, so I'm not. I still got more to do. I still got more work to do. So this is just the beginning for me. It's I'll just keep doing my thing, and then people keep talking about me. So that's it feels good though. It definitely feels good. So I'm pretty happy about it.
I can only imagine, man. You know, especially with it being it was pretty much almost on the dot, 7 months of a layoff, right?
Yeah, 6 months, 7 months. Yeah. So it was definitely it's. I'm the type of person like I want to stay active as much as possible I can. So it was different for me not fighting 7 months. So but I learned a lot from in that 7 months. So that was a good thing to do and a good decision to do, to be honest. So great time to take time off a little bit and kind of just focus on yourself and of course there's injuries and all that, but it's all for a reason. Everything happens for a reason.
No, yeah, and in that downtime, you know, it's not like you were completely away, you know, just not doing anything. You were all over the place. You know,
Yes, sir.
you were cornering fights, UFC to LFA, all across the board, PFL, pretty much everywhere that you go to, you always get some rub from the announcers.
That's how the announcers. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean it's always like I said, I'm a visual learner. Like I'll see things and I'll learn. So it's a great thing for me to go travel with these guys and see things. I mean, it's not the greatest thing, but it's the best thing from my brain, to be honest. So, and actually I get to go corner Siler for the $1 million in a few weeks. So
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I can only imagine, you know, the opportunity from being able to see such high level competition, you know, firsthand all the time.
yeah, so it's definitely. Is that we started him? I started cornering him since his first fight as in the tournament. So it's awesome to see the progress and all the way through the $1 million. So I'm excited for him to get the $1 million.
I hope so too. You know, that's a huge win for the gym as a whole, for, you know, everything that you guys have been doing here at Factory X, building as a team. You know, with your road schedule that way, you know, how do you take that? You know, is it rough on you having him gone so much, or you know that it's all for the greater purpose, or how does that weigh into, I guess, the relationship side of things?
Right.
With it?
You know, people, I get asked that a lot, and I find that I definitely miss him when he's on the road, but it's really nice to have, like, that time to myself, you know, and have that time here at the gym, and it makes me aware of what a major role Youssef plays here at the gym. Like me working with new students and members and people that are trying to get a hold of Mark, people that want private lessons. Well, Youssef managing amateurs, teaching all these kickboxing classes, being the right-hand man of Mark too. Like, I see how much we're able to work together here. And that's a really cool experience. So I noticed that when he's gone and on the road. For me personally, though, it's nice to be able to have that time to, like, do whatever I want and not necessarily be really wrapped up, like, okay, what are we eating for dinner? What are we going to be doing tonight? Where's he today? Is he at the chiropractor? You know, we're always just running around doing something. So it's nice to kind of have, like, a couple quiet nights to myself. And I like it a lot because we always talk when he's gone. We FaceTime constantly, you know, when he's at the airport, in the cabs, you know, warming up, you know, right after the fight. And so I love that. And it's just, I know he enjoys it when he's gone. So I don't, like having him out of the house, but I miss having him around. But, I don't mind it. I like the time to myself.
That's understandable. And as you mentioned, technology probably makes it a little bit easier to deal with the distance on that side of things.
Totally.
Everything from, like you mentioned, FaceTime to just general text messaging, all that.
Right.
10, 15 years ago, that's not an option. You're on the road for a weekend or a week, something like that,
Right.
and that's you probably aren't talking outside of that little bit of window where you can call from the
Right.
hotel payphone or whatever.
Right,
you know what I mean?
exactly. I can't imagine.
And I'm sure you like having to get those times where you get to have your little binge of some cereal or something like that.
Yeah, she just want to get me out of the house. Yeah.
Oh no! I always
Over
joke.
the
I always joke that a lot of times when he goes out of town, it turns into art camp because I'll pull out. He hates it that I have stuff all over the living room. He's like very particular about that room. So when he leaves, I just pull out all of my crafts and my paints and my big canvases are all over the floor. And then, it'll be the day before he comes back and I'm like, shit. Like, I have to pick it up. So that's fun and funny to watch.
Oh, I'm sure. Do you ever walk back in and see, like the mess or the chaos or whatever you view it as in the living room? Just like, what the hell just happened in here?
It's pretty much every time I come back.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Pretty much every-
I try to make a point to clean it up and do the shit, like put the shoes away, the jackets that are on the front chair, stuff like that.
I'll
But
still find it.
he's pretty understanding about the art supplies and doesn't get on me about that because those just take up space. What are you going to do? Wet paintings you can only put them so many places. But I like to leave my shoes like in the path. I like to take them off as I'm walking. He hates that shit.
Yeah, I'm pretty bad about that too, and I have way too many shoes. I have shoes that are always all over the place.
I gotta get some shoes. So.
He has so many shoes, and they're all in a pile in the closet.
It's all Reebok, I should say.
Freebach.
I mean, it's a good problem to have, then, I guess, on that side of things.
I know, yeah. So I mean, it's they get done quicker, those shoes. So get rid of them, give them some teammates or something. But it's all fun.
And that's what's great is like Youssef gets a lot of great free gear, and I've seen him. We've got a lot of lower income students and just people that it's a sacrifice to get here, and I've seen him give away some of his gear, give shoes away, give some shirts away, give his own fight shirts away to little girls, and that just I just love that, it makes such a difference and it makes such an impact in a community, and it's something that we can do that affects people that in our direct circle. So I'm just like, Reebok, have a big shoe drive. There's so many coaches that travel every weekend that their closets look the same, as his and Mark Montoya's, and he gets stuff from Mark. And, I just want them to have a big clothing drive. Like, have a collection basket where they can just throw shoes after a fight, throw gear. Like, I know a lot of the up-and-coming fighters, like, those kits are important to them, and having that first stuff. But then, like, having that first, your full set, when a lot of the backgrounds on some of these guys come from, like, this is some of the nicest shit that they own. They should be proud of that. They should hold on to that. But, like, a lot of the coaches, the guys that are making good money, they're not going to wear all this stuff every time. So I'm trying to figure out how I can word it and how I can send my letter to Reebok and be like, you guys need a clothing drive.
If there's anybody that would figure out some way to put the crazy philanthropy twist to it, or put some sort of compelling case to it, I don't doubt that it would be you.
Thank
of
you.
all people.
I appreciate that because you're
Yes.
absolutely right. I would. I should. Now that we've said it and it's out there, I'm gonna have to.
Well, now you're on record.
I know.
this is
I
after-
know. My
people
idea is
can see
officially
this.
out in the universe.
They're
Exactly.
hearing it.
Exactly.
That's just that cracks me up because when I was making the video from the airport the other day after the fights, like I almost made the comment for the picture that you actually have on your new phone for your screensaver. That way, I was gonna reshare that picture and say be behind every great man is a great woman. But then I thought, what if I said that way, Cat's gonna put my head on a spike.
No.
If I didn't say
No.
like beside instead of behind.
Oh,
I heard a version of that I always like. This is behind every creep man is a very tired woman.
Yeah, that's what you said me the best.
Yeah.
I told you that.
Yes,
I was like,
exactly.
oh, okay,
Same sentiment.
okay. Yeah.
No bitch. It's interesting.
But no, that can be challenging sometimes just because there's, for me, who's like, of course we both like, not necessarily being the center of attention, but like meeting people, being chatty, da-da-da-da-da. And when it's his fight, like his career in particular, there's just this spotlight on him all the time. And it's like free clothes and all the sponsor stuff and the attention and the photo shoots and you know what I mean? And so it can be hard to like, kind of be like, you earned all this, you deserve this spotlight, take it. And I'm like, I want my free Lululemon stuff, you know.
Well, I mean, fringe benefits sometimes come into play.
Oh,
right?
totally. No, there
She
are.
wears all my clothes. So
Oh, I do,
it's-
yeah. I do.
Whatever goes to me goes to her.
No, it's true.
Okay. That happy wife, happy life.
Yeah. No, I just, you know what, I just like the opportunities that we get through it.
Oh yeah,
You know?
definitely.
Just the opportunities, like, I love meeting people behind the scenes. The people just, you know, like Phoenix, the announcers, the coaches, just the different athletes that are traveling with these guys. I love meeting all these people and just having the opportunity to just, you know, pick their brain and see where they're from, see what they're like, and just kind of humanize this sport that's just getting so, like that, not getting so Hollywood, it is Hollywood, it's entertainment, it's showbiz, you know, so it's fun to always see the faces that really make it work behind the scenes, you know.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, that was cool having Phoenix back there the other day.
Oh, that was
you know,
awesome.
And then just shooting some messages back and forth. Very, very cool person.
Totally, super nice, and all these guys usually are, you know.
Oh yeah.
But you know, and I always love seeing you popping up at all the events. That's always
Camera.
a pleasure.
Trying to do my best, you know.
Yeah,
trying to
right.
make a splash, help everybody, you know, get out there all across the board. You know, starting to gain, you know, more and more recognition all across the board, which is only on my end. You know, what you guys do makes what I do easy. You guys do the hard.
Right.
You know, I mean that you guys are the best part of the entire project, so it makes it easy for me to put in the time, the effort, whatever it is that, you know, I have to do to get content out there. But it's you know, it's a team effort in that sense.
Totally.
And, you know,
Totally.
you guys obviously are going out there and putting in work, especially, you know, what you're now the number 3 ranked team in all of MMA right now.
Really? I was trying to find those listings. I couldn't find.
Number 3 behind
article.
AKA and City Kickboxing. The Australian outfit. Yeah, with I
Gotcha.
believe like Bobby Whitaker and
Oh,
all
yeah.
those guys.
Oh,
right,
yeah.
right.
Yeah,
But
right,
yeah,
champion,
but according to the
Cool.
list that was released today and that was shared across the board, you know,
There it
all
was.
over the internet, you guys were at number 3.
That's amazing.
So that's kudos to you guys.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's just a testament, of course, to Mark Montoya.
Mm-hmm.
His, you know, as you mentioned, his brilliant programming. Like, I like to do a lot of research. Not as much reading as research, and how to be the most productive, how to communicate different ways, how to, you know, do all this stuff. Like, I'm currently reading a book. Oh, God, I wish I could remember the author, but it's like Better, Faster, Stronger or something, and it's by a guy who's just has studied behavior, studied productivity, how to make, and there's tactics, how to make a team work, all of these different things. And the more I read into it, the more that I see that Mark just follows all of these things. It's like, I don't know where he gets his wisdom from, but, you know, working directly to be the face of the gym because he can't be anymore because he's traveling so much. He's like, these guys and they're the face of the gym outside the gym, you know, on the road, on TV, in the cage. I'm the face of the gym here. So I just like give Mark so much credit because he's very clear with his coaches, with me, with his fighters, about the culture that he wants to create, the work ethic that's necessary to not even sustain this place, but that is to be this place.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's nowhere like this in the world, and it's because he sets the standard for how we all act and how we execute, and it's just been amazing. You know, the results speak for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's just been amazing to see him at work and the fighters at work and everybody's visions kind of collide and to be towards greatness. It's awesome.
Oh yeah, and it's really kind of taken traction within the entire sports recognition. Like you listen,
Yes.
you watch a broadcast now, and like when Ian fought down there in Argentina, a few weeks back, they gave huge props to the team. I obviously was at the Denver card with you guys there, so I didn't see didn't get to hear any commentary on that.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there was plenty that would plenty
Right.
of praises sung on that night, being that there were 3 Factory X fighters that all won that night.
Did they all finish too?
I
don't
think
know.
De La Rosa went to the cards, if I'm not
Okay.
Yeah,
mistaken.
we did went to the card.
Yeah, he went to the cards, but obviously Devontae
Devontae,
first round finish, and then
Macy.
Macy with the second round
Yeah.
finish. So for you, another first round finish. How's that feel?
Actually, that was my
Is
first.
this your first
my
round finish?
first
Yeah.
Oh, it's first round. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So I was.
Oh yeah, that's
It was-
right. Soto
It
was.
was.
second.
It was. Yeah. It was. It was a different feeling. I don't know. I feel like I was. Prepared for it. I don't know. I feel like it was gonna be the first round. I don't know. I was ready for a war. I was ready to go against their number 1 guy and all this and that. But I mean, shit happens, they say. But I was ready. I'm prepared for whatever they give me. And it's always. I perform better when it comes to like short notices for me. I don't know why, but I just do. And especially the tough guys. I love fighting that everybody, they talk about tough guys and all this and never been finished and all this is tough, and I love fighting those guys. It takes a lot of, it shows a lot of the smart side of my fighting in the game, so I'm pretty pumped about that.
Obviously visualization is huge for you. I mean, right after Shakeout went in, and we were checking out the cage before, and you hopped up. You're like, first thing I do when I win, I'm gonna hop up on this motherfucker right here.
It's see, for
And you
me
did.
is I dream about it the whole fight. Like I dream about the whole fight. My whole camp. Like okay, I see myself losing. I see myself winning, and then it keeps getting better and better and better as soon as we get to the fight day. But it's nerve wracking. It's the most terrifying thing in the world. But I know what I'm capable of, and I know when I visualize it, it's opening. It's fireworks to me. So and especially when I get the chance to prove it, that's when I shine more, and I'm accept that challenge any day. So I'm ready for that challenge any day.
Well, Youssef talks about his dreaming about it, and I knew it was going to happen in a very pragmatic, pretty just practical, standard way.
Mhm.
But just from knowing him and talking with him every day, there's more of a kind of like, dare I say, like mystical, kind of ethereal quality to it. That's really interesting. Like for example, there was one time that Mark and Youssef got in a big fight over dumb shit, of course, but they got in a big fight. And Youssef told me, he's like, I had a dream about that we got in a big fight a month ago. I didn't know what it was about, so that was interesting. So that's what it was, kind of thing. I was wondering about that dream. He has actual physical dreams about how he's going to finish these guys. When his opponent pulled out, he told me, he's like, I had a dream like 3 days ago he was going to do this. He goes, I knew it. I just knew it. And anytime Youssef has like a weird gut feeling about something, it's turns out to be true. And like when he said that about his opponent, I was like, why the hell didn't you tell me? And he said this talking, he's like, I think that this is gonna no, he doesn't, I think this is gonna be he doesn't say I think. It's very much like, he's like, I dreamed this was gonna be a first round finish. This is gonna be my first round finish. And it kind of reminds me of, I'm sure you listened to that Joe Rogan podcast with Rose Namajunas, how she talks about how she like, when she gets a bad feeling, they're out of there. It's kind of like that. Not as much the immediate danger or gut feeling, but it's like, there's definitely this.
Did you see the Deontay Wilder episode of the Rogan podcast?
No,
recently?
I just saw that. Didn't that just come out?
Yeah, it just
Yeah.
came out a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
Same exact thing.
Really?
Kind of talking about how it's almost like the premonition effect.
Totally.
And how Deontay Wilder, he said that his grandma always said that she had this vision that he was like an anointed one or like a blessed one, and that all these special things were going to come to him, like that he was going to have to face these battles, but he was going to be always a special figure.
Wow.
So whenever his parents would try to like discipline him or anything like that, she's like, no, like he's
This
a
is his
special
path,
one.
yeah.
Like no, like don't do this, like he's a special one. And then
Right.
it goes and turns out like I don't know if too many people realize it, but he took the bronze medal in the Olympics after
Whoa.
just, I believe it was like a year and a half of boxing training.
Holy shit.
Into a year and a
No.
half.
I don't think a lot of people realize that
it was
at
less
all.
than 18 months, I'm pretty positive, based off of what that. Yes. So
Wow.
he's really only he started boxing when he was like 18, 19, somewhere in there. It was when so his backstory to it was he has a daughter who has spinal bifida, I believe it is. It's either spinal bifida or cerebral. I can't remember which one, but it's a disease. Was born with a disease. That is obviously she's disabled, and so he said rather than at that age trying to pursue going to play basketball or going to play football, he said those couple of things. That requires you to go to school for at least a little bit before you're in an opportunity to try to make some money.
Spend money on school.
He said, I needed money now.
Right.
So
Prize fighting.
Going into fighting
That's interesting.
is what led him that direction, and the rest is history.
Look at him, yeah.
40-0 with 39 knockouts, 1 draw.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. But yeah, I see that. I definitely think there's like a weird genetic. And Youssef isn't like woo-woo at all, like hippie. He doesn't care. But like he'll speak very matter-of-factly about his...
We have our tinfoil hats on.
Yeah, I know, totally. But he'll speak like that about how his mom has the same kind of thing. Well, she'll almost have visions, or however they translate in Arabic, and like will warn her sons about the different kind of things that they might encounter throughout the day. And just have these very, very strange otherworldly experiences where somebody who's like as hippie and out there and me is like, oh, you need to tap into this, Youssef, go deeper, get in tune with the universe. It's sending you messages clearly.
It's so crazy how the universe works that way.
I fully believe that.
So this tripped me out bad. This was a few weeks ago, and it was the night when the shooting happened in California. And so the one that was in like Paradise.
Yeah, Paradise Cove or something.
Yeah, I can't remember but it was that one that happened
like a big shooting?
I think like a dozen people, something like that.
Died?
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, I'd say a bit.
Yeah, I would say
more than 2 was a big
mass public
shooting.
Yeah, that way.
Wow.
But so that night, I had a dream that woke me up in the middle of the night. That in my dream, I was in a place that was getting shot up.
Jeez.
And granted, so I mean, whatever that
Right.
tells you about your psychology of history in certain ways.
Mm-hmm.
But nonetheless, I was in a public place that was being shot up
In this dream.
in this dream, and like just as we're like going to duck for cover is when I woke up. Like I woke up from the dream, and then whatever for the rest of the night. Then see the news in the morning that there was a mass shooting that night.
Yeah.
So just like, how weird is it that I have this dream that I'm in a public place that's being impacted by a shooting situation,
Right.
and there was one that night.
Right.
But-
It's totally like that, almost like collective consciousness
Mm-hmm.
thing that we're all,
Keep
you
this
know,
running, keep rolling.
kind of connected.
Yeah.
I don't know. It says, I'm trying to remember. I think there's a study where they had people do a day-old crossword. They had this one group of people solve a crossword puzzle a day after the entire world had solved it, essentially, after it was published. And they did better. And they solved it faster than the people who took it the first time. It's the most, like, out there shit. I get that. But just as a very, as an example, like, we don't have the science, we don't have the technology or the means to really even prove any of this shit, but like to deny the possibility, I think is just as ludicrous, as to say that's for sure a thing. But I don't know. I always just think about stuff
Well,
like
I
that.
feel Faraz Zahabi actually said this. He was like, it's to become a world champion. It's you really gotta have a guy who's basically talented. Like you can teach other guys, but you gotta be talented at something.
Right.
It's either striking, wrestling, all these guys. But I feel like everybody is born as a superstar, but it's just the matter of where your brain is heading, where is your path heading at. So if you really want something and you really want to do something and succeed at something, I mean, who does not fail? I mean, that's the world. I mean, you win wars, you lose wars, and that's how it goes. Life goes. You're gonna lose people in wars and all that. So, but I feel like it's more of the path than mental part is where's the success and the progress is at. To be honest, so.
Yeah, you're right. No, and I think there are people like that's why you have to kind of try a lot of things in life, because it's an Albert Einstein quote. I think it's something to the effect of, if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it'll spend its whole life thinking it's an idiot.
Right.
Which is true, you know, and so that's why, like, the older I get, the more I let go of these traditional notions of, like, talent and intelligence. Like, that's why MMA is so cool, is because it gives a platform for these smaller, not your athletically, genetically gifted people to be these just superstars on a global stage. Well, not anymore with what's happening to the 125 division, but you know what I mean, like these guys that are average height.
One did just sign a
FC,
deal with
yeah.
TNT, so they're going to be broadcast.
Really? Oh, cool.
So,
okay, see, that's rad.
You know,
So exactly. I'm not gonna. You can't discount the whole division. I'm not gonna call it a wash just yet. I'm optimistic.
Well, it's a business. I mean, the business will never wash off. It's always they're always gonna come up with something.
Right, they have to. But in that same vein, you know, like people that aren't these genetic superstars have incredible opportunities. You just have to be smart, you know, and be dedicated. But yeah, there are people that, like you said, just have these natural abilities and they just have to run with them.
That being said, you know, there's a lot of people out there who have just incredible physical gifts and tools that are, you know, beyond world class, the elite of the elite at that, but they don't have it put together in between the ears.
Right.
And, you know, I look at a guy like out there, you know, and he's one who still always tries to make a noise out there, but I don't know if you're familiar with who Jesse Taylor is. But Jesse Taylor was on the Ultimate Fighter back in the day, and he had won all the way through and was going to fight in the finals.
Yep, that
and
was
the favorite.
back first Ultimate Fighter they did. I think it was I don't know who the coaches were.
It was within like the first 4 seasons.
Oh, wow.
Somewhere in there. Yeah. It was early on. And so he had won pretty much all the way up through that point, had just pretty much dominated, but he went on a belligerently drunk, just like rampage through Vegas basically.
Right.
And it then, you know, so he's the only person who I believe who has been kicked off of the show prior to the filming of the finals. Like in that, so I think to that day this still stands.
So he's back in the UFC now. He just won the Ultimate
again.
Fighter. They cut him again.
They cut him again. So they brought him back, but then he failed the drug test. He failed an out of competition drug test, and so then they basically the proceeding went on for about a year, and then they released him a few months ago.
Because he won the finale.
Right, because then they brought him back for another Ultimate Fight and wins again. He wins the whole show again. But just an example of a guy, and he goes to jiu-jitsu tournaments, he cleans up. But just talk about a guy who has all the physical gifts in the world. I mean, if you look at the guy, he looks like a goddamn G.I. Joe.
True.
You know, I mean, he's a physical freak.
Yeah, he's huge.
Wow.
And he's incredibly talented, very competitive, but just someone who, I guess to me, the missing piece is having it in between the ears.
Right.
And that's been the missing piece for him all along, as evidenced by his behavior.
Right. And, you know, and it just makes me wonder is what I'm seeing, what I think now more than ever is that that's somebody who, as Mark would say, is a victim of his own blessings, or, you know, or something to that effect, where it's like he almost gets to skate by because he has these genetic gifts, because he has this genetic upper hand that's going to be that, like, he has that genetic upper hand, so he's going to skate by, but that can only go for so long. Like, there was a golfer, there was some coach that said, I will take a 2-star athlete with a 5-star work ethic over a 5-star athlete with a 2-star work ethic any day. any day. And especially in the UFC nowadays, where guys are so hungry, so talented, their fight IQ is so high, they're so multifaceted, or just surgeons in one area, but you still have to have it all. There isn't room for people that don't take it seriously, that don't have the behavior, that don't have the mental component on lock fully. Like somebody like that, you're acting belligerent, you're failing drug tests, fuck you, you're not a professional. You don't take it seriously, there's not room for you. Even if you're talented. Even if you're just
and
physically
he cries
talented.
wolf, or not, I don't want to say cries wolf, but cries, a foul that he was done wrong, that
Makes
he didn't get his
excuses for his
opportunity,
behavior.
all of that,
Right.
that, it was only, like a couple of nanograms, that
Oh,
wouldn't be.
shut up.
It was like,
I don't care.
I mean, nonetheless, like it was still there.
Right, exactly.
Like, and you didn't. It wasn't. I believe, to my knowledge, it wasn't anything that was contested of. Like the tainted supplement, like line or anything
Right.
like that. It was just more so like, dude, you got caught.
Yeah,
Like
totally.
you had
You're
you
gonna
had
get
something in
caught.
your system. Like
You're gonna get
it was
caught.
there. Like,
Exactly.
I get it. There's a lot of people who have a lot of tricky ways around testing. A lot of that sort of stuff that can get creative. But at the end of the day, you got caught.
Right.
In a lot of situations, and the guys who that have gone on major publications that have talked about it, they say the best PEDs out there are 2 to 3 years above testing, or
Yes.
ahead of where
Yeah,
testing is.
absolutely.
And there's experts that are out there that know how the tests work, that
Right.
know how in relation of where your body is, how your natural hormones, all those sorts of things are going to fall in relation to testing. And their entire job of why they get paid to be brought into these big camps is to make sure that they can beat the test.
Right. Exactly.
Obviously not as easy with USADA, but that doesn't mean that there's not other promotions out there. One doesn't test.
Right. And that's
Oh,
fine.
Bellator.
Well, that's
Bellator, any
fine.
of those
Go
places.
there.
Bellator, they only test for like regular drugs like marijuana and all that, but they don't test for like no steroids or PEDs. And all that.
I hope one day we just have the steroid Olympics. We're at that point where we have the technology, we have all this crazy scientific technology, chemical technology, where it's just like, fuck it, make your own sport where take as many drugs as you possibly can, find the right cocktail, and be the most badass athlete in
Because I
that
think
vein.
there's a market.
There
for that.
totally
Well,
is.
There was a market
we've seen
for-
Icarus.
Yeah.
They did
Yeah.
the drugs and he still did bad than
Right.
without the drugs. So it's
Well, I think
depends
Pride
on
is
the
one of biggest
person.
examples.
Yeah,
What
it
do you think what
depends
is?
It's like some of the fights of Pride, and
Oh,
Yes.
say
God.
whatever with some of the veils of
Oh.
collusion and whatnot with the
Mhm.
Yakuza stuff, with Pride
Oh,
of
yeah.
throne fights, fixed fights, whatever.
Totally.
But nonetheless, you look at guys of their or within their prime, or I even saw, I believe it was a Glory fight that they showed the highlight of today. But a Bob Sapp against Ernesto
Oh
Hoops.
my God.
So
Oh,
you have a
yeah.
guy that is, people like seeing spectacle, and Japan had an eye for that with Pride. Having a guy like Bob Sapp, who is 375
Fucking
pounds with a
freak.
fucking six pack.
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
there's no way
Yes.
that you have a man
That
that
is
is
Yes.
that
true.
big
He's actually
with
has a
Exactly.
six pack. Yeah, forever
Yes.
that.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
So, that sort of spectacle in that way, or, I know that, I think it was in Ryzen at one point, but he's also been in other European promotions. But a guy like Mariusz Pudzianowski, who was, I don't know if you're familiar with that name, but Mariusz
Heard the name,
Pudzianowski,
don't know much about him.
he's former world's strongest man.
Oh,
So,
yes.
from
Okay.
Poland.
Yeah, I do know who you're talking about.
Jeez.
Right. And then
Yeah.
there's a I can't remember, there's another guy that he's either slated to fight or just fought that's another just
Just a Hulk.
freak, just
Yeah.
a Goliath of a human that is, and you could just tell that, like, there's nothing natty about it, because
Right.
the dude has the head that's about the size of,
The
like
neck.
the
The neck.
head and neck that is literally, he
The
probably
chin.
wears, like a 6 1/4
The
size hat.
chin
I
that
was
looks
like,
like a
you on
block
something,
of
bro. For
stone.
sure.
Yeah.
I was like,
They
what you
either
on?
have that chin that looks like it's just like a block of stone, or just all blends together.
It's like, you remember, like, or, like Earthworm Jim?
Oh my
You think of
God.
Earthworm Jim? Like,
Wow.
Big old body with, like, the one little
Damn.
tiny head coming up.
Yeah,
out of it.
exactly.
That's exactly what
Oh
this
my
guy
God.
looks like.
I haven't heard that.
Like,
That was
you on
that
too
was
much
quite a
drugs.
reference. I haven't heard that.
Dug that one up real quick, can be a little bit clever.
That's so funny.
He's like, he's on drugs. It's like, bro, you need to slow down.
Well, no, but you're
Too
right.
much.
Like there's a market for that. They should just have that. That's why I think, like, one could be cool, but at the same time, unfortunately,
I think
that's
Ryzen's trying to kind of have.
that's
that
right.
market.
No, that's the one. That's right. Where they have it like bold in their contract, like, we do not test. Pride did
Right,
that. I know Pride did that.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
But, like, it does suck because the guys who want to fight and want to be natural, you can't not. You have to either kind of buy into the steroid game to just to keep up. We know that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. At the same time, for the guys that are trying to like fuck around with it in the UFC and stuff, it's like that's energy, resources, mental time, just stuff allocated towards breaking the rules.
Mm-hmm.
Just play by the rules and you don't have to worry about it. Like that to me, what it tells me, I don't know what's your take on that, but like to me, it's like if you have to do this, you don't believe enough in yourself to be successful. If you have to do all of these things to bolster your performance, you don't believe in yourself enough. Well, like, what's your take on it?
Well, I mean, if a person walks up to you and say, you could be a world champion in a year instead of 5 years, I mean, all you gotta do is take this. That's a whole different story. But I mean, a lot of people would do that. But I mean, I'm happy that there's the USADA and testing all these guys to make the sport like cleaner. But like you said, there is guys ahead of the USADA. They still popping. You know, like I know John Jones is one of the best fighters in the world. Still gets popped.
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's all for a reason. They change their life quicker. But I think about it as the long run. It's about your body health. I mean,
right.
How many drugs you got to keep doing,
right,
till I don't know, whatever the ages are. But so that's what freaks me out. I don't want to do that.
With your natural hormone levels like
Yeah.
that, because then they said like Vitor had to go back on TRT.
Exactly.
You know, now
Your
that
body
especially
can't
now he
use
looks
it.
big
Right,
now,
exactly.
right. And because they said that he, like, basically going into his last fight of his UFC contract with his test levels when they did his panel, that his testosterone was at the level of like a 70-year-old man. Like,
wow.
and that's just from all of those years. I mean, if you think all the way back to, I think it was like UFC 12 when he made his debut against Randy when he was 19 years old. He was 240 pounds. His neck started at the top of his ears.
Yes.
His eyebrows
Bring it back.
had muscles.
Bring it back.
Yes. And then you got past that point, and
I want
then
that
around
again.
like the when he fought like around the Bisping era and the John Jones era,
Yeah.
when it was TRT Vitor,
Right.
and he was just as scary or
Luke
even more
Lockhart, when
scary
he
that
knocked
way
out
around.
Luke Lockhart.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
When he had the fucking mohawk and when he would like paint the crosses on the side of his head.
Oh my God.
That
yeah.
was a
That's so
scary looking
Exactly.
dude. Like that
Yeah.
was
Scary Vitor
you
for
you look
sure.
across like, oh shit, that's fucking Vitor Belfort. Oh man.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, that's so funny.
Yeah. Yeah, you
But
know.
yeah, exactly. Well, and that's the thing is, whatever you got to do to get that edge, I guess.
Do you feel like as a competitor that it's, just completely an unfair advantage? Like, don't you wish that there was nothing to do with it? Or, I know that in some, because, obviously, like me having a background with baseball always gets the steroid era
Oh
type
my
of stuff.
God, yeah, totally.
I always say to a certain extent, I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Barry Bonds is the best baseball player that's ever lived. Just, whatever PEDs or not, whatever. That's
Right.
not
I'm
going
not
to
into
make
baseball,
you.
but okay.
Not going to make you a better ball player that way. In
Right.
that sport, at least that way. But fighting is different though, because you're
very
weaponized
Exactly.
at that point. That's no longer you're no longer
Fully.
receiving a strike from someone who is a natural human. That's
Yeah,
someone
they
who
can kill
is
you.
exactly.
Yeah, so I mean, in the end of the day, for me, I don't know. I'm just weird. I don't know. Like I don't care where you on. I'll still whoop your ass. That's what I feel like. I mean, I'm like, my mentality changed so much. It's ridiculous. But I mean, like, I feel like I'm unstoppable. I mean, and I just keep it that way. Like I don't care where you on. Like I'm finding a way to beat you. You beat me once, I'll be back again. You beat me twice, I'll be back again.
It's
Until I
like the
beat
Joey
you.
Diaz
So,
mentality. Then.
Totally.
So-
Did you hear when Joey
but-
Diaz went on that rant about Stipe and Brock?
Poor-
It was on one of the Fight Companions a while back. When
Oh,
he was
okay.
like,
I love those.
You have a guy like Stipe, or he would call him like
Mochochik or something.
Steel bitch. You get that
Steel
steel
bitch, yeah.
Yeah, he's got
I
that
remember
immigrant
that.
mentality. He's gonna tell Brock Lesnar,
Ah!
you take all the fucking steroids that
Oh,
you can
Joey
take.
Diaz, yes.
Yeah.
Steel pitch.
You better take all them steroids,
Holla,
motherfucker,
Beeb.
because you're gonna need them.
Holla beep.
Joey, that gun's
Nigga,
gonna come
nigga,
flying out of your mouth.
Yeah.
I love Joey Diaz. Okay,
Yes.
so it's so funny because I'm Sicilian, right? And my family's from New York and New Jersey. So every time I listen to a podcast with Joey Diaz and Joe Rogan, I feel like I'm listening to like my uncle. Like I get nostalgic about the East Coast when I listen to them, and like I feel like I'm listening to like my Uncle Joe and my dirty Uncle Joey. You know, like that's how I'm gonna write them a letter too.
Joey.
I love listening to them.
Oh yeah,
But-
I absolutely love it. Well, I love the Church of What's Happening Now. I listen to that.
I haven't listened to it yet. I like my podcast and I don't branch out. Like I say, pretty big comfort zone with very high walls.
Understandable.
I barely listen to broadcasts. This is the first time I started listening to broadcasts.
Oh, they're
Actually, when you started
great.
doing an interview with me, that's when I started
Really?
listening to podcasts.
Oh,
Yeah.
they're great.
Everybody I know that everybody told me is Joe Rogan, so
Mhm.
I listen to it. So it's always fun though. Like when I listen to Tyson Fury, oh my god,
Yeah.
that was awesome. So it kind of shows me like everything is possible in this world. So that kind of just confirms my belief. You know,
Right.
it confirms everything. So it's not like you need more people like that in your life. So
Right.
that was a cool thing to see. So
Yeah, absolutely. Well, one of the things I wanted to say earlier about Youssef that I just think is like really cool is outwardly he has the attitude of it doesn't matter, I'll whoop your ass no matter what. But inwardly he doesn't have that that fighter mentality in that like I'm gonna fuck you up, go out of my shield, I don't give a fuck, da 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 da. He's like, you don't like getting hit in the head, so your head movement's very good. Nobody does, but there's people that don't give a fuck. You very much give a fuck about not getting head damage. You don't really like blood, so you don't want to get cut. You know, you never got into this. A lot of guys got into that because of street fights, because of problems, because of anger stuff. You didn't. You just got into it because it's the sport that they have, you know. Here in America, we have basketball and football. In Morocco, they have soccer and kickboxing. So you grew up kickboxing. So it's like, he has much more of a strategic mentality. And so because of that, he's a very by the book fighter. He very much plays by the rules. He in sparring, when guys will piss him off, he doesn't headhunt. He'll chop their legs off, but he's not out to kill his teammates. He will let go as soon as he feels attacked.
go to war.
Sometimes, but you've never been a dirty fighter. You don't even like the fatigue aspect of it. He doesn't train any more than you hear these guys that are like, I work the hardest, I put in more hours, I put in more sweat and blood, da da da. Well, those guys are broken. He doesn't cut a lot of weight. He eats mostly healthy.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't drink. He doesn't. We know all this stuff, but it's like.
Biggest sweet tooth as I do, my fat ass.
Yeah, I feel that.
I
He
do
brought.
that. I
I
do
know.
that
He
sweet
brought me
tooth.
cheesecake tonight. I was like,
I do
baby.
that sweet too.
But
Chocolate is my thing, so that's why Ferrero Rocher. You know what I'm saying?
shout out Ferrero Rocher. We're
I'm
getting that
saying.
sponsorship.
Yep,
Um,
winning tradition.
You gotta keep
Totally.
It going. You gotta keep it going.
All
See,
gold.
it's 6 fights now. 6 fights. He's been with me for 6 fights. So
But yeah, no, I just think it's you just have. I watch guys on tape that he's slated to fight, and I'm like, I think I know you can beat them because you just are. I can tell you are going to approach this differently.
Mm-hmm.
A fight with him looks different than a fight with anyone I've ever seen.
Well, that's what I've said all along. Ever since we first met, there's something about your mentality and your maturity to your approach at so young that is mind blowing.
Right.
You're 22 years young.
yeah, still young.
And you tell me shit that's just fuck.
Oh, I know.
You're giving me advice on how to grow up with some things, and
Oh,
it's
I know.
well, I guess this is the world that I'm living in now. I'm getting advice from from guys way younger than me with this, but I'm always greatly appreciative.
Totally.
And like I say, dude, that conversation that we had before the LFA fight in Vail, that's what really kind of put a lot more things for my own personal well-being in motion. That's when I started running. That's when then running led to doing more. Just
Right.
built and built and built.
Well, it just helps you energy, man. It just cleans your energy out. There's so many things in this life. Like I said, I had a great eye opening, and I give that props to my brother who passed away, you know, and it's one of the greatest things I learned since then, you know. It's kind of opened my eyes up to this world, you know. It's like, listen, I have one thing to do, and everything that I want to do, I want to achieve and enjoy it as much as I'm doing it. That's why when I fight, I'm not like I'm enjoying the progress. I'm not stressing about it. I'm not this and that. You know, it's fight. It's my job. I go there and just handle business and do my thing. But it's not like all this energy is getting as effective. So I feel like I've been blessed to kind of have people to give me the advice that I needed, you know, and kind of get me out of all the bad choices, you know. And I give that to like big thank you like to my mom and my dad for actually getting me out of the trouble, you know. I was like I'm in Morocco. My two cousins were locked up, so and those are my best friends. I hang out with them every day. So you tell me where's that pack gonna go? So I mean, every time we go and then they fight, I gotta handle it. Like I gotta jump in and fight, get my ass whooped. But I was just a young kid, so that's what I learned. I'm just like, but I always was that tough kid. I'm like, I'm gonna get you like next time. Like, you know, I could never go with me. Like last fight, still like I was so pissed I got cracked. It's like, but in the end of the day, I was like, let's focus on the good thing. Let's focus on the good thing. But
Was that a humbling moment? Like just enough to say like you know what? All right, like I am still human. Like I can still I can still get touched.
No, I know this before even going to any fight. I know this before even going to fight. I am a human. That's why I feel like that's what makes me more dangerous, because I know what's the outcome of me getting cracked and all that. I know what it is. So that's why I don't want it to go that way. So I just make it. That's why I feel like it makes me more dangerous than a lot of guys are. I want, like, I'm beating you smartly, not physically, or I mean cardio. Yeah, you could say cardio, but it's more about me just breaking it down piece by piece. That's my mentality. Yeah, that's what I feel like. I'm taking. That's why I feel like everybody kept saying to me, "Oh, he's a 6-0, but he looks like he's 15-0 or something like that. Like he's more experienced and all this and that." But I'm just to be honest. I'm still learning till this day. I'm not even close to the level that I have in my head.
Well,
like I'm not.
And that's, you know, what I think is so interesting, and we talked about this a little bit just this morning, is that he is so young and has so much experience. He's been doing this over 10 years now, where a lot of guys that say you get into it, you're fighting by the time you're get into it when you're 20. You build up a very like of course you evolve so much after that. The most growth I probably ever did was between 19 and 21 and 21 to 24. But like your mentality's pretty set by then, you know. You've got probably a lot of the insecurities are probably pretty set in stone. Like your mentality is pretty much the way it is, you know. But somebody like you, where you've been fighting since you were 10 years old, your mentality was shaped by fighting. You don't take all of these qualities and all these things that we carry just with us through our regular day, through the regular world, you know what I mean, and then have to bring that into fighting and chip away at them so that you can build the right mentality. Your mentality has been shaped by fighting. So on paper, it doesn't look like you have that much experience, but just the way that your brain plays the game is just so different.
I mean, my
And you're just so damn
my mentality
honest about
it was not that, like, when I was fighting, I was just better than those guys. I'm not, like, I was still mentally not there, you know. I was like, and I feel like I'm still not mentally not there yet, you know. I'm still progressing mental, you know. It's not, people say, oh, it's confidence. It's like, I call it, it's my work that I do, like, behind the scenes, you know. Nobody said, oh, this and that, but nobody knows how really hard and all family problems and all this in a camp, you know. They don't know this. It's all they know is like, okay, you get a camp ready and then goes fight. It's not how it goes. It's never how it goes. All my 6 fights, I always had a problem before a fight, and that's what kind of just builds up my fire. So really as an amateur, I really didn't have a good mindset. You know, I think it was my talent was just better than those guys. So I mean, but I learned a lot from it. So because I look back and I'm like, wow, I thought I was more, like, just going like animal style in as an amateur than a pro. So if you look at my amateur and my pro, it's a whole different story. It's like you're looking at the guys just going to the ham, just want to finish you, and then you gotta look at my pro. It's like I just break you down, and I'm not even looking for the finish, and the finish just comes to me. So and I kind of see it from the last amateur fight all the way to the pro. So that was when I really started to open up my eyes. So that was fun.
And maybe you can, correct me if I'm wrong, or maybe point me in a different direction of it, but when watching you fight, just kind of seeing some of your movement or the way that you're kind of in and out and setting things up, I see a lot of Dominic Cruz.
Actually, when I don't know if you guys know Bobby Lashley,
Obviously, I know
the
about
big wrestler. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
big.
him. And then I had Alex Hudson. He's one of my good friends, man. He's my old coach. I still respect him and everything that he done for me. Like, that's why I'm saying I was been blessed to always have coaches not teach me mixed martial arts, teach me life. So that was the biggest important thing about it. That's why I feel like I am more capable of handle myself as a 22-year-old. You know, I'm not just, I would say not an average 22-year-old, I'll tell you that. But it's more those guys, like when I sparred those guys, it was like that's all my training partners. Those two heavyweights and Austin Jones. And I was a bantamweight back then.
Right.
So all I do is train with those guys, and I'm like, I remember one day, our Alex Hudson put his hand wraps on, and that was the first time we seen him put his hand wraps on. We're like, what's going on? We're like, he's like, you guys are about to find out today what fighting is. And we're like, fuck, wow, okay, interesting. And then I never been hit hard with a body shot in my life. It was a body kick.
Oh no.
That I was wow. And then some months later, I started learning like Dominic Cruz, and I started doing Dominic Cruz, kind of moving a lot. And then one day I pissed off Bobby Lashley, and kind of just, he couldn't hit me. Like I was going everywhere. He just put my head in the mat, in the wall, and just uppercut me from like so down, uppercut me. I never seen black dots in my life until I got hit with that hit. So since then, like I was kept moving my head. And then when I came to Factory X, I was just like, he was like, what the fuck? I was like, this guy's Dominic Cruz out here. And then that's what I did, is kind of just move all over the place. But I really didn't show my power and I feel like I am so good at knowing counterattacking. So like I'll see things different than other people. But so it took us like about a good 6 months, I would say, to change the style. So, and it's been worth it. It's been super good to me. I mean, like, it's been there, but you're not wrong. It was Dominic Cruz. I mean, it's still a little Dominic Cruz, but it's not. I feel like I'm the guy that I pick from everybody, and then my teammates, wins, loss, other people in the UFC, all these guys, and kind of just want to put it in there and just make it myself. So that's yeah,
all the best.
yeah.
So
And then
who's been influential to you, like, recently?
a lot of people. I mean,
Like
I
anyone in the
watched-
UFC in particular that you watch?
Well, I just watched Max Holloway this.
Well, hell yeah.
So that was very interesting.
Shout out Hawaii.
So I know,
It's
but,
crazy.
but yeah,
And
it's
like
That was amazing.
Max. Oh my god, sorry, I didn't mean to cut
no, you good, you good. I mean, Max Holloway is an animal, man. He's that's awesome to see. So it definitely pushes me to get, like, I see his path. He was 20, 21 in the UFC pro debut. Got beat by Dustin Poirier, got beat by Conor, but look after Conor. He's in the winning streak like crazy. So that's where my, like, that's him, but I'm being me. a new era than the Moroccan haven't seen. Like, you know, there is not really a lot of talk in MMA in Morocco, except there's two guys in the UFC, two Moroccan guys in the UFC. They're brothers, but still, I still don't think nobody ever close to the level that I'm at from Morocco. You know, as a kickboxing kid coming from Morocco. So that's where I'm aiming at. You know, I'm aiming from the top to the top. So, and that's where I'm staying at.
First Moroccan world champion.
That's trust me. That's always a man. The first guy to bring Morocco, UFC to Morocco. So
Oh yeah,
I'm
that'd be
staying on
awesome.
that. Somebody beat me to be the first one Moroccan in the UFC, so I was so
I know.
pissed about that. But
I know.
it is what it is. I still have one goal. I still first Moroccan. That's in the back of my head. So first Moroccan. So
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. So to kind of switch up gears a little bit, we had already kind of talked to a certain extent about certain arenas of having unfair advantages, I guess, within competition. So this question is more directed towards you, Kat, because I want to know what your opinion is.
Okay, I love hearing my
So,
opinion.
I'm going to pull it up right here because I don't want to butcher the name. But so there is, I don't know if you've been familiar, if you've seen any of the headlines of the World Handball Championships that are going on
Jesus.
right now. So, granted, not a
No.
big thing here stateside, but abroad, in Asia, South America, Australia, all of that, it's a very big deal.
Right.
It's actually what Cyborg got discovered by. Fun fact, I'm just
What?
throwing that out there.
Really?
Her original coach that brought her into train MMA. She was a handball player, and their coach saw that she was just such a physical freak and dominated other women that they brought her in there.
I love
But
her. I hear she's so nice.
just a little nugget of
That
random
is fun.
useless
I
trivial
love
information
that.
that flows through my
call her
brain.
Christopher Cyborg.
Stop it. I love
But
her.
but so there is a transgender, or I don't know if completely moved transition, born male to female now. Hannah Mounsey is the competitor's name. 6'3", 220 pounds. Made
Wow.
the conversion or made the transition at 26 years old. And this is not even saying this to be a dick, but the pictures of her, if you look, it looks like Brock Lesnar with a wig.
So it was 26, and then she changed.
Yeah,
to...
so lived all the way till 26
As a man.
as a man, and then made the transition and was outlawed from competition last season, at least for a full year, because testosterone levels were too elevated and in relation to body weight and all that. So, but now this year was somehow able to compete, but has been absolutely just dominating the field. And I don't know if it's been since Crown, but the last that I had checked when I was drafting up my notes here to ask you, Australia was just decimating the entire field, and all the reports and all the write-ups were saying that it was 100% a clear-cut advantage, that Mounsey was was bigger, was stronger, was faster, was the certain physical facts that you can't deny. 6'2", 220 is a big person. Period.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Whether
6'2", God.
I mean,
Right.
as I sit
As a
there,
man.
That's like a-
That's a
5'11",
big-
6
Yeah, that's like a-
165.
That's like a foot. I'm 55, so that's
So
like...
I mean, saying that in that way,
Right.
that's a it's kind of like a Gabby Garcia type of situation.
Oh my
Although
God.
she has her thyroid issue or whatever it is, she has
That's
a
a big bitch, though.
Right.
I'm sorry. But
Right.
it is.
And
I'm
she
sorry.
probably has some
She
extra
is.
Brazilian supplements in the mix too. but-
Right. Oh God, totally.
But
I mean, she's leaner now. Did you see her a few years ago?
Mhm.
She was massive.
Then she missed weight by almost 10 pounds or
Oh,
something like that.
no, that was
that was
Gabby
Yeah.
Garcia.
Gabby Garcia.
No, that was Mackenzie Dern.
No, it was
Gabby
Gabby
Garcia
Garcia and Ryzen.
Is she an MMA fighter now?
Probably.
In
Yeah,
Ryzen.
Ryzen.
Remember
I haven't
she was
followed her.
bleeding
I
and
She's
all
fought
that?
in Ryzen a couple
I didn't
of
know
times,
that.
and she just
She fought, like,
Oh
bunch
wait,
of
yeah,
old
and she
ladies,
and
yeah.
cyborg
Yeah.
cyborg corners her and stuff.
Yeah, she
right.
just pummels everybody.
Yeah, she trains with Cyborg.
But see, within the sense of I say this, that if there is, she has the bone and to preface all of this, was a competitor on the men's national team prior to transitioning, so
Right,
was
I assumed.
already an elite.
Oh, so he was
physical
experienced, yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
was already experienced, was an elite athlete as a male, and then made the transition over and just completely is dominating. Has the has the bone structure, has the the scale,
The upper body
Power,
strength.
speed,
Exactly.
the power,
Yes.
all the hormone, all that sort of stuff is not going to change that.
Right.
You know, whether or not, you know, she's gone through the full transition or not, that physical size alone is a very distinct advantage. So I just, you know, I mean, someone who has a very forward-thinking and progressive mind, I wanted to know what your thoughts were on a subject like that.
Well, the gender issue is so complicated, and it's just Leo. Dog is dreaming. And it, like, I don't want to get into it too much, honestly, because it's just the conversation has been had by people who are much more educated on it than I am. But this is something that definitely has to be considered for the future, is with all of these blurring gender lines that we see in the gender politics that we have, is we're going to have to come up with something. And it's tough, though, because it's like, you do have these female, like, for sure female genetic outliers, like Gabby Garcia on the extreme end and Chris Cyborg on a slightly less extreme end, you know? But at the same time, it's like, for me, it does come down to the testosterone levels. Your testosterone levels are too high. You can't lower those. All you can really do is ratchet up your estrogen. I've heard of some people, like, almost wanting to kind of bust your endocrine system by, if you overload the testosterone to the point where you can essentially break your own system so that you cannot produce testosterone. Sure, I don't know if that's a viable option. I don't know. But the thing is just like, the genetic advantages are there, you know, and I don't think that is fair. We've traditionally had gender separation just because of clear genetic benefits. We're not talking gender expression. We're not talking about how you want to present yourself to the world. We're talking biological, hormonal differences. You know, there are clear differences. We've always had divisions in this because of this. Even like 150-pound guy Youssef and I essentially weigh the same. He still can deadlift a shit ton more than me. And it's not just so much that he's been doing it longer. He just can. You know, he just has these genetic benefits, even though we are the same size, essentially. You know, and so I don't...
Africa, love you.
Thank you.
55% though.
56%.
56, right?
We are not going to do that. But yeah.
That's Senegal, you know what I'm saying?
It's hard. I currently think that it's not fair, but I don't have a solution.
And then I asked this because this was, you know, to give balance to it, what a lot of people were saying maybe in retort to that online, you know, and you would kind of, you know, hit on it. There's so much of the blurring of this line, and for some that, you know, I mean, and I don't always like using necessarily this term because it's a blanket term, but it, you know, that's what's more so has been used for this exact situation. But feminists in this situation, like, you know, going through with so much of a, you know, the compassionate, all-inclusive sort of thing, like, no, we're not going to discriminate against you if this is what you're identifying as sort of situation.
Right.
So there are some people, some of the writers out there that were saying that, okay, well then let this be a lesson, let this be kind of a reap what you sow situation, celebrate it, let this person be there. But then don't go crying wolf or be a hypocrite once you have an entire wave of some of the same exact sort of situations, and then now natural women have been basically made obsolete within this division.
And they're being slowly pushed out of the sport the more that...
Exactly.
Right. No, I feel that.
Because, you know, at the end of the day, hey, you have your cyborgs of the world, you know, those sort of women who will beat the majority of men out there.
Right.
But when you get down to it and when you look at it just at a biological fact,
when you look at the bell curve, essentially,
the strongest man will beat in the physical competition, will always beat the strongest woman.
Right.
When you're just talking, you know, when you're putting the two next to each other. So then when you bring, you know, and into that equation with, you know, with the women that way, it's evident. You know, there was the example of the Texas wrestler that you know, it was and the athlete wants to wrestle with the boys. You know,
Right.
it was a high school situation. Girls been getting hormone treatment. Testosterone is through the roof.
But wait, in
And-
high school?
Yeah, high school is in the
Oh, see, I hate
transition
that.
and is, because they have women's wrestling or they have girls wrestling down
Right,
in
of
Texas,
course.
and has just been absolutely been wiping the floor with the competition, winning state championship after state championship. Wants to compete with the men because is in the process of transitioning.
Identifies as a
But-
boy.
Whatever the the governing athletic body will not allow for that.
Right.
So someone like that is kind of in a weird situation.
I know. And
Now, I think that you should be able to do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah,
If
fully.
you're a woman and you sign off on competing, but you have to know though too. There has to be the disclosure piece. Like you can't enter competition and say that I'm gonna go get out on the mats or I'm gonna go get locked in a cage with this person and not know that was a man first. That was the issue with Fallon Fox.
right.
Didn't tell people first.
Right.
I'm at like, well, first of all, I come from a whole different country. It's women and guys. There's no gay. There's no this and that. None of that. So I feel like, of course, there's a lot of freedom in the U.S. and which is amazing. It is a great country. Nothing but great to me. So I'm not nothing to say about of course every country has bad stuff. Okay, the shooting and all that. Whoever. That's the world. Welcome to the world. But what I think like I said, you can do whatever you want, but in the end of the day, it's not fair to the competitors. They've been doing it since young age, and then trying to succeed to their highest level. That's the only thing I see with it. You can do whatever you want, but I don't feel like that's the right thing to thousands and thousands of competitors they have out there. So you're the best one, and you're the number one in the world, and then that's how many people playing this sport. That's probably more than thousands to tell you that. So that tells you something. I feel like that's not really fair. Like if you really wanna test yourself and you feel like you want to change that's fine. But you gotta come up with something.
Right.
You can come up with a different division. Like if they can have the men and the women together.
Yeah, different weight classes. For
That's
teams,
fine.
maybe.
But you just can't do that to the ladies that've been working their whole life for that. But all you did for you is go to the doctor and then do a couple things, and then now you're a whole different athlete than these guys or this.
Right.
These ladies, I
Well,
should say.
And that's what makes it so complicated, is because you don't want anyone to feel ostracized or be disenfranchised because of how they want to, because of their personal expression. What makes them, if that's something that makes them feel whole, it really makes their soul feel complete. It's not my place to tell anybody that you can't do that. I don't think, but that does leave a lot of gray area. And the thing is, kind of it's so new that I'd say until we really come up with a better system, which we're going to have to deeply evaluate for sports, for all of this stuff, it's not fair. It's not fair. Nobody wins here. You know what I mean? Nobody wins. As in a lot of situations in life. It's just
Well, I feel like it has to do a lot with I don't know if it's parents, but it's of course when you go to a certain age, you're gonna do the decisions you want. It's not like you can't do whatever you want. But it's not cool to the other thousands and thousands of women that've been working their whole life.
Well, what do you mean parents? What are you talking about?
I don't know.
Parents.
Like
There are some, so I think I'm picking up on what you're putting down, in that there's a lot of parents that maybe sway their kids in these sort of thoughts and put them on hormone treatments and stuff at a young age,
Right.
prior to
when
when
we said
they
high school,
maybe,
I was just like, what?
Right.
I know.
Right,
I don't
and there's
condone
some
that.
that have been reported cases of young teenagers or even younger than 10 years old around in there that they think that they were that it was it was a boy who I thought that I was I should be a girl or something. But that you're talking about an 8-year-old kid.
Mm-hmm.
When I was an 8-year-old kid, I thought I was a fucking dinosaur.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
What would you imagine? What would you imagine at 30 years old or 40 years
a few
old?
years later, I would look back at my parents are you guys fucking kidding me?
Right.
You guys were the adults
I know.
in the situation.
I feel that, and especially because it's what is it? We all know that your frontal cortex or whatever. There's one that's okay, there's one part of your brain that when you're born, it's fully half-baked because it's so shaped by cultural norms and by our social interactions. It's not something you can physically be born with. You can't have these reasonings and these logic skills and these cultural understandings that we have. You physically cannot be born with it. That's not fully developed until you're like 19, 20. I don't know. Somebody check me on that.
Young
but
20s.
but yeah,
No,
exactly.
Frontal
But
lobe, yep.
yeah, exactly. But like, so you fully aren't capable of your brain's not fully baked. You've got a half-baked brain by the time you're born, and it's like you really can't be trusted to make these decisions on your own. And that's different from like a parent. Let your kid be a dinosaur. Let your kid dress, express, identify however they want. Don't do hormones. Do not.
Well, I mean, like,
They-
it goes
like
back.
like
It goes back
when
to
they're an adult.
Altering for
Forever.
yeah. I
You
mean,
just
like,
can't fuck with
let 'em
somebody's
do it-
endocrine
Let them
system
do it as
like
an
that.
adult. I feel like if you look at it as a women's sport, I mean, MMA. A lot of people, I feel like it's kind of disrespectful to the women when Cyborg got tested positive,
Oh, I know.
and then she goes out there and you look at her fight, you're like,
It makes me
Jesus,
so
that's
sad.
like a whole different animal. It's like a dude fighting a woman. Like
I know.
that's like, but I'm just saying, it's kind of like it's almost not fair if I was a woman and then looking at the sport, but. And
That's exactly what Jermaine Durandamy said. She said, "I'd rather be strip my belt, than make me have to fight her."
that's what I'm
Right.
saying. So it's a win and loss. It's a win and
Do
loss.
you
It's
feel like it's somewhat unfounded anymore with some of the criticism of Cyborg being that I believe it was 2011 when she failed the drug test, and to my knowledge, that's one of since her rise to being who she is in the the elite sphere of the game,
Mhm.
that's the only test that she's failed to my knowledge.
I don't
So-
believe that, but
But like I mean, that's the only one that that she's popped hot for.
Right.
Do you think, and she's also been on record, according to certain sources, as being one of the most tested athletes
Right.
in the USADA
no, I
program.
wouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
So that being said, though, I mean, if she's being tested that frequently, then she's probably pretty clean now,
Right.
or at least has some really
Good
good
biologist
has
or
some
something,
really
yeah.
good-
Exactly. But
Which
I mean, like we said, same thing about John Jones.
Totally.
Like he not pop, and he popped up two fights in a row, 3 fights in a row.
and that's
the only thing is like, John, you can't tell people that you're still smoking weed and still drinking and still doing all that. Like, I get it, you're trying to play like the human approach,
oh
but
god.
dude,
Yeah.
you're trying to like repair everything.
Everything.
You were the only
You should have been the
guy
one.
who has ever had the two major sponsorship deals that you've had,
Nike
and be
and-
dropped.
Was it Nike and Gatorade?
Nike and I believe Nike,
Or EA
Gatorade,
Sports.
and then there was another one that was a big like
Just
know like,
Nike though. That's the big,
Yes.
big.
No other MMA fighter has had a Nike
Nike
sponsorship.
sponsor, no way.
And he was the only one that got dropped.
Yeah. I don't.
So it's like, come on,
Well-
man. Like, just be smart about it. You can do whatever you want. That's fine. But just don't go out there in interviews and go
Well,
talking about it.
You
that
see
way.
what's the fine he's got to pay? $205,
Jesus.
$205,000.
I'll take that. That'll
For
change
someone
my
like,
life.
I mean, with him coming up in this fight against Gus, like
Yeah, he's
that-
making millions in that fight.
That's,
Oh, I
that's a
know.
fraction. That's a fraction right there.
it's still.
Like he,
But still, his ways
That-
to.
that money's
he
going-
spent his- if
that
he
money's
spent his
paying for
money
testers.
halfway smart, that endorsement deal that he lost from Nike, he still has money from.
Right. I know exactly. That money, that 205 is paying for Cyborg's drug test, her blood test. I think. Yeah, I think it's fair to let her fight. I'm a firm believer in you get one chance. The 3 strikes you're out. That's fine for little kids who don't have the fully baked brain again. But you're a grown ass adult. You know the rules. You know the consequences. You know all the ramifications. You know why. You know why you're not supposed to have that clear genetic that hormonal advantage. Do you want to? And it's people that it's like. I think it's people that are doing this for. I don't want to say the wrong reasons because I don't know anybody's reasons, but it's people that I think they get caught up in the hype train.
Mm-hmm.
They start to doubt themselves for 1 minute, and I think it's terrifying. And I think, yeah, give her one chance. It's okay. Hey, it's okay. Leo, it's okay.
Shout out to Leo.
Shout out to Leo.
Family dog.
I may hold him here in a minute now. But yeah, it's dicey with the John Jones thing because the suspect dick pill. There's a whole case against it, you know. But if it happens again, it's like
This thing is, it's been a repeat thing now. You know,
Right.
so you lost that benefit of the doubt thing. If it was just
That's
the dick
what I'm
pill
saying.
thing, okay. If
That's
it's
what I'm
just the
saying.
dick pill, okay, cool. If it or if you stack the dick pill on top of the cocaine, all right, that's understandable.
I get it.
Because the thing is
That
that
makes sense.
almost like in a linear sense makes sense.
it does.
Because I
agree.
mean, for anybody out there who parties, and this was kind of almost broken on Rogan's podcast a long time ago. Brian Redband actually called it the comedian, who he said because he knows from his party habit of from time to time doing coke,
The coke.
that sometimes when
You
you
need
do
the dick
coke,
pills, too.
your dick doesn't work. So
Yeah, totally.
he said, I guarantee you, John Jones was partying.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
she parties like a motherfucker.
So he
Oh,
was
of
like he
course.
was partying.
What's
I
the tick to
guarantee you, it was basically he was doing coke and his
Right.
he needed some help, and turns out that's what the story
Sketchy dick
ended
pill.
up being.
And that makes sense.
I think that John Jones, though, at times he makes himself, or he puts himself in a worse position because he almost I don't want to know. Tone deaf might not be the right word, but like today, his caption that he had for when the announcement was made for, or it was either today, whenever it was that he put up
jeez.
his post.
What'd he say?
He said something like, like ain't nothing but a little bit of money or something like that. So it
Okay.
like
yeah.
the way that he said it, or I can't remember exactly the way that it was worded, but the way that it was worded almost made it seem like, oh, I just had to flip them a little bit of bread so they would clear my name.
Right.
It was like, John.
It's like
Like,
off color. No, I think it's like.
People are so willing to forgive him too, and he just keeps on.
Oh, I
just
agree. I
Messing
agree.
up, yeah.
No, and no, I definitely think, and I think it's these people like. I hate to say it, but like I think it's. He's not groomed to be. His job isn't to be like socially charismatic and to be socially and politically correct. And unfortunately, some fighters get away with it. So some fighters not only get away with it, it's their brand, Reed Connor, and some fighters will no matter what be penalized for it. And I think he's one of them. And but that doesn't mean, again, it's kind of like I hear people say it's like, "Oh, that's just the way he is." That doesn't make it okay. That doesn't make it okay. That doesn't make it acceptable. In my eyes, you don't just get to get away with saying something because you've done it before. You know what I mean? It was making these
Hire
off-color
a team,
statements.
or have like you don't have an advisory council of people around you now. At this
Somebody,
point, or the people,
somebody
like,
that
in
handles your
tight
freaking
circle,
social
your
media.
manager, whoever in that sense, like, dude, do not send. Don't hit the send button before you send this to me first.
And that's-
Something to that effect. Like you would
Right.
think it, especially given that he has two other brothers that are professional athletes.
Right.
So you would think that
He'd-
some of this
exactly.
would like, come on, man, just use your head.
Just
a
be a
little
little
bit.
more tactful.
Right.
You know.
Speaking of tone deaf, this is really tone deaf though. What is your opinion of Greg Hardy being on that Brooklyn card along with Rachel Ostovich being on?
Why do you ask me hard questions?
That's why I brought you. I respect your opinion.
I
on
don't
these
know.
things.
I hate. I think Youssef and I are kind of in the same vein where we have very, very, very low tolerance for domestic violence, sexual assault, things like that. The ugly stuff. I don't have a lot of tolerance for it. And again, I don't think anybody should be able to should. Again, like, how many churches does he have? Probably multiple. If it's just one. But the problem is the thing is when people get caught and people get persecuted, it's rarely the first time that it happened. You know. So
I don't know if the UFC is doing it to get media. I mean, I don't know, because as soon as it came out, the media came out. So that's the thing.
He
But
was supposed to fight on Island
Island,
Fights
yeah.
on December 21st.
Really?
Because Iron Mike Barnett, Justin Osborne's training partner,
Oh, cool.
is fighting on that card too.
Oh,
as
okay.
Well. But so he got pulled from that and added to the Brooklyn card. So how many you stupid motherfuckers in the PR and marketing department of the UFC and in the matchmaking process, how do you not realize what a fiasco that this could be?
With the Rachel
And
Ostovich.
even with the situation of, you know what, yeah, Greg Hardy, this was before he was involved in fighting, so, you know, he's, you know, call it whatever, that he's turned the new leaf. I believe in second chances, okay, cool, great, whatever in that sense. But you have how many cards across the entire year? Nobody gave a fuck if Greg Hardy was on this card or not.
Right.
That was something that didn't need to happen.
Right. No,
You had a card that was supposed to be the
I
next week
agree.
that just got scrapped with the Anaheim one, but you have cards damn near 3 to 4 weekends out of a month, and you can't say that, all right, instead of putting you on this one, let's put you on 2 weeks after
Right.
that. You got to put them on that same one, and how many other women are fighting on that card? How many other people just in general within the support staff of the UFC to everyone that's going to be working behind the scenes of those events that then have to be in that same environment where you know that this is a guy who
With
was
this violent individual.
Yes.
You're right.
So you guys did not did you run this by anybody first? And then Dana makes the comment, "Oh yeah, I talked to Rachel and she
said
seems
it was
fine with it." That's big. That's the picture answer from a person who's a victim of trauma.
Right.
And what's she gonna say? I mean, it's not like she's a world beater or, you know, a top name or someone who has a whole ton of pull.
You're right.
In that sense,
you're totally right.
You know, if it's somebody like that has a voice for the pull, and maybe like, you know, naturally have like a Ronda back in the day, or someone who has more of a voice like Joanne or someone else, probably has more pull to say something there. But Rachel doesn't have a whole lot of pull in that sense.
Well,
she speaks out against it. How long does she still have a contract for, or how long is she buried on prelims and undercards?
I feel like in the sorry to interrupt, but
by all means.
I feel like if she really, I feel like she's, I mean, every woman goes through hell. I mean, like I feel like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of women more than men in this world, but it's if she really wanted, she feels something about it. Like, you know, she'll stand up for herself. You know, if a strong woman and does her thing, I mean, she will stand up. Of course, there is the talks and this and that. Of course, when you see a contract and this and that, you might not say nothing. I see that side. So I don't know if it's true. I don't know if that's what her side is. We'll find out after the fight. So we'll see how she fights. That's the number one thing. But I feel like she's Hawaiians are really strong. You know, it's and I can see the strength in and you definitely don't want to mess with a strong woman. You just don't. I mean, like, look at the guy, beat her up. A broken orbital and all that. Look at her, still standing and still coming back. So that's, I don't know if that's thing. But I mean, like, if she really want to, man, like I said, in MMA, like when women's sport, there's talent, there's beauty, and there's the talk.
Mm-hmm.
So every whoever it is, they have a list. You know, Cyborg strength, Joanna talk, Rachel is the beauty.
All of them, they're all pretty.
That's what I'm saying. But like everybody.
Come on, they're all white, skinny, pretty.
But like everybody knows,
Is.
like, okay, so this girl is talking. Okay, damn, like, oh, you got my attention now. Like, what do you want to say? You know, it's like, it's fucking, it's insane. But it's, I don't know what's that girl going through. So I really can't be the judge. I mean, I hope nothing but the best for her. I mean, like, I hope that Grey Hardy thing don't mess with her. So especially when she sees him at the fight week.
Right.
So that's
because that's a whole different thing.
So
too.
I don't know.
mean,
I don't know how you can handle that.
Like,
so
that can present a visceral reaction that you can't imagine in any other capacity.
Right.
Like you can think about that and visualize it all you want, but sometimes when you're presented in the face of that demon or that particular, you know, situation,
bring memory
or
backs.
someone who could trigger that.
Memory backs, yeah. It brings you memories.
And
but
I don't know.
You know, it's like Rose. You know, she had a traumatic experience when she was young, and she said that's why she almost pulled off of the card against Joanna the last time when the bus got attacked, was because it brought back like almost like PTSD type of episodes.
That really fucked with
And
her.
like
look at
after
her,
the
though.
fight, they said
Look at her.
but they said though after the fight though that like she didn't leave, like she would rarely leave the house aside from going to the gym to train for the class because she was so traumatized.
And she leaves the fight, she's on a plate.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know. I don't expect you to necessarily agree with me on this. I know I'm a hardcore feminist, even more of a cynic, and I just feel like the power dynamic there, like you said, she's a woman that doesn't have a lot of pull, and just to be a woman in this space where you like have to do so much to really to defend your right to be there, regardless of like. I know the talent isn't there. It isn't saturated why the way it is for men. So you get women with pretty shit records that are able to go do UFC, whatever. If they're the best of the best, so be it. You know, but like, you have to work so hard to prove your spot that it's like, what would people say about her if she wasn't okay with it? Would they care? I don't think people would care. I really don't. I don't think that she'd care if she was like, I don't want him there. That takes away from her image of being strong. She is like women in the UFC, especially in the space where it's a brutal sport and you're constantly told you're too pretty to fight. You have to be resilient. You have no choice but to show this face of strength and to show fortitude. You can't show your emotion. You can't show a weakness that's perceived as a feminine quality. Because you lose any respect that you might have gained by like climbing to this level.
Well, it's all ego and all that. It's not.
What do you mean it's all ego?
I mean, like if I come up to you and said, "Oh, you're too pretty to fight," I mean, I'm just giving you as an advice as I fought and I seen what people can go through as a career. It's not doubting what you're capable of. If I'm doubting you what you're capable of, you can go to other countries. You don't have the right to do anything.
No, I know, but
I know, but I'm just saying it's more of the if somebody walked up to me, I'm like, oh yeah, of course I want to show him, but show yourself you can do anything you want. It's not just fighting. Just because somebody told me I can't fight doesn't have to mean I go to fight. No, just do whatever you love and do what you think.
No, I agree, but just having women more than anything have people's voices on them, projected at them. Like, okay, I'll just give you an example. So they came out with this, they posted the Captain Marvel promo photos, this woman superhero, whatever. All these fucking stupid internet trolls obviously were like, you should smile more, blah, blah, blah. Her response was, she posted promo photos of Captain America, Doctor Strange, all of these guys with smiles on their face, like Captain America with his shield flying with a smile. It looks creepy as shit. They're too busy saving the world. They don't smile. There's just a different... people just want women to be pretty. That's why all the women in the UFC are pretty ones, is because people want to look at them, you know? And so it's just like, there's a certain mental aspect that you have to try to get respect. And to try to feel like, I'm not just here because I'm pretty. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I agree, but another thing
Do
is it's all
I don't know.
It's all social media though.
Scoreboard up.
Yeah, it's like it's all social media. I mean,
what do you mean it's all social media? It isn't social media.
It's all it is.
No.
Women will take social media to heart.
No,
like
it's
if
not
anything
just
comes
social
out to a
media.
woman to heart, they'll take it to heart.
It's not just social media.
If you look at Ronda Rousey, she didn't care. Why women can't be like that? Because it's their choice.
Can't be like what?
Like Ronda Rousey.
In what sense?
Of she didn't care, she just went in and dominate, and then dominate in a men's sport.
I know she did, and she's a pioneer, and I give her a lot of props. But
So there's no
have
difference.
to. You're right. Women have. She was the first one to do it. They have to hold it. That probably wouldn't have happened if she was busted. I'm sorry, but
No, it would happen. It would happen because of her skill level.
Yes and no, though. See, I say this in the sense that there was one person, and we've already mentioned her a few times, that really and truly that was the fight that would have been to make all along. But the UFC would have never wanted that fight to happen.
I agree.
They never wanted Cyborg to be in the equation when Ronda was.
Well, Cyborg will die making that weight, first of all.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right.
But
that
way.
aside.
but that aside, I mean, she would have definitely done it. She'd have done it and tried. I mean, the documentary. I don't know if you've seen the documentary
Yeah,
for
I did.
Cutting Weight. Like, oh my gosh, that was
It's
hard to watch.
Yeah, it was hard
But-
to watch.
nonetheless, even I believe a reduced capacity cyborg will still beat the shit out of a Ronda personally.
Yeah.
Like I just think that she's
chance.
so good everywhere.
She's so
Like,
powerful.
Her ground
She's
game,
so
her
powerful.
grappling
Her
is
ground
so
game,
elite,
you're right.
and her
Well,
striking.
on the other
her
hand-
striking is just so phenomenal. Like she strikes with world class strikers in striking competitions. She has to go to specialized tournaments to even really get tested.
Right.
I feel like this sport is a whole different story. It's like saying, what's his name, Max Holloway when he fought Brian Ortega. What everybody kept saying about Ortega. It's an animal if it goes to the ground, this and that.
Gotta get him there
The
first.
most significant strikes ever landed in, I don't know, 50-something% in a fight. So that's a whole different story. So like I mean if because right now when people do good and success, we're like, oh fuck, she's a killer, you know. It's like you can't mess with her. But as soon as she gets another animal in there, it's a whole different story. So I don't know what could happen. I mean, I really don't know, but who knows that? Like we never know. But every human, I mean every fighter is a human. Everybody has weaknesses, and somehow they will find it. That's how I feel about it. The greatest guys in the whole world, they'll find them. And back to the woman thing, there's so much
As I
great.
see your
I know there's so much great women doing their sports. You know, it's that we so focus on so much negative, and let me say the feminist ones focus on the negative side and not focus on the success. Okay, women can wear hijab in the Olympics. Women can do this in the Olympics. Women can do this and that. Women can do a lot of things that they're not supposed to do and like not supposed to do and all this. But the media and the social media focusing on, well, you can't tell me I can't do this and all this and this and that. So that's why I feel like about if you're a strong woman and you're capable of doing it, you can do it. Don't focus on the bad thing. Focus on the great things. Focus on the positive things. Focus on the things they're doing for the world. The whole thing is just changing.
Well, I just don't want you to use social media as a catch-all to dismiss very real experiences. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, there's social media perpetuates trends that we see in real life. It perpetuates discrimination. It perpetuates like these weird differences and nuances of what our culture is. Social media didn't create the culture. Social media shows the culture. So social media shows what's going on.
It can create a culture.
I think
It
creates
can-
No,
You're
right.
Yeah,
You're
so-
right. I'll take that back.
I
It
mean,
can.
social
But-
media. It's not like I'm not running away from the problem. There is a problem. Of course, there's a problem. But all we keep saying, because we look at the phone and we see one thing. One thing, just one post.
Shit, maybe you.
Let's just say, you know,
podcast articles.
like that's what I'm
blogs.
saying. Like, see, all you said, it was all social media. Everything that you said, articles, videos.
That's not
this-
social media.
That is social media.
That's
That
media.
is social media.
depending on what source you may be consuming that media.
If you seen it on YouTube, it's
We're
social
not
media.
we're not talking Vice.
Listen, if you seen it in YouTube, it's social media. If you seen it on Google, it's social media.
No, that's not true.
If you seen it on Facebook, it's social media.
Yeah, I know. Social media, Google, Facebook, YouTube, sure. Social media.
Okay,
Google
so
is
it is,
not.
and that's what everything that runs in this world is social media like that. So every single thing, that's what I'm saying, is too much ego. They will see one thing. You know how many things I see about my country, and I'm not be like, well, this is, I mean, I'm trying to have a voice, but my voice will not mean nothing. It's like it's nothing. It's like
with
nothing is
that
right now.
attitude.
Yeah, but when you keep winning and doing things and changing things and changing people's lives, it will be a whole different story. People will know you more and more and more. But I can't just be like, oh, you see this, you see this, you see this. You have like I told people, like, you guys are being blessed to stay in America. You guys haven't seen the other countries. Like, she would lose her mind if she goes to other countries. This is what I'm telling her. You guys are blessed enough to have all this freedom in America. You don't have that in other countries. Women don't have that freedom. They don't even have the right to do anything. So you tell me, how does that feel? People are focusing on, well, he told me this, he told me that, but they're not focusing on, Yeah, other countries they don't have the right to get. First of all, they can't just pick anybody they want to marry. They can't work. They gotta work, stay in the house, do this and that.
Right.
But yeah, we're focusing on. Well, he told me I can't do it. This is fucked up. This is.
I don't.
It's a female thing.
No,
It's not. It's two different things.
But I believe that there are a lot of individuals. I tell Youssef when I like go crazy about women, the women thing. It's not me being a feminist, it's me being a bad feminist. It's me being like a stubborn person, you know? That like a stubborn, jaded, hot-headed person that just so happens to get triggered by these social issues. I never want to discount the blessings that I have. All I know is that the rhetoric of it could be worse can be a kind of defeatist, destabilizing one. I don't accept that. It doesn't mean that I don't focus on all the good things that I have. Because there certainly are people who dwell in their trauma, who don't let go of these things. But at the same time, somebody like, I know a lot of black people that are like, that the white resentment is a very, very, very real thing. Are they not allowed to have that? I don't believe that. Like, for example, I had an aunt who was a really bad addict, a really bad alcoholic. Like, just the vices plagued her for years. And she has a firm believer. She's clean, she's sober, she's been going to meetings and doing the thing for like 10, probably 15 years now. And she's a firm believer that you have to dedicate as much time to healing and recovery and rebuilding as you gave to your vice. I feel that way about things like slavery, about things like the injustices that women do still face here. I don't want to stop just because it's like, I don't want to dismiss prejudices that we have just because it's better, it's worse somewhere else that doesn't directly relate to my experience.
But this is what I'm talking about. They talk about the higher countries because that's what matters. But they don't talk about other countries. Like how many population in the United States?
Several million.
Yeah.
300, 400 million?
Probably.
I don't know.
I
Honestly,
I don't know.
How many people are in Africa and Russia?
Oh,
way
Probably
more than the
so.
United States.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. We focus on the higher things. But yeah, of course there's trauma. Who doesn't have a trauma? As a kid, I grew up in a different country. I got whooped with every kind of whooping you would say. I got whooped with. I see these kids, I'm like, fuck, I wish I had your life. Like when I was growing up, fuck, I'm like, I got dropped a spice grinder thing on my head and almost sent me to the hospital. So, I mean, I still got stitches, but they top right in my head. But I'm saying my dad fucking beating my ass and all this, but that's trauma. Woman has it indifferent as they getting assaulted and all that, which is, I agree, it will go for you for life. That's never gonna change. There's so many fucking idiots out there. They don't appreciate women as much as they need to, you know? They can do a lot of things. Women can do a lot of things in this world. They can change your life, like they said. They can either take your life to the worst or take it to the better. And usually women help you a lot to take it to the better. And, you know, every success man, like they said, you know, there's a woman behind him, you know? So that's
Side.
That's what I'm saying. It's like more of us thinking about, well, okay, the war was over women getting their rights, so now it's the war about women feeling like they're going through the worst instead of focusing on the problem in general.
What's the problem in general?
What do you mean the problem in general? Kids getting bullied. Do you know what bullying does to you? Bullying is the worst thing in the world.
Agree.
Bullying is literally worse than you getting hit. Like, that's how bad it is. And I've been through bullying.
Right.
I've been through getting hit.
I'd agree.
I've been all this. So I'm saying it's like, it's all similar. We're all the same. We're all human.
Right.
The only thing that made it different is because we had a war over women and men. And that's what it's kind of like it's a strong it's gonna be just arguments back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Well, women should not do this. Women should. First of all, if you fucking argue with a woman, like I don't know what the hell you doing. You should not. Just let the woman happy. Don't argue with the woman. Let her happy. Let her do her thing. But that's what I'm saying. I was like, that's where it creates more drama. So I was just like, that's why when I see all these feminist girls, I'm just like, okay,
Who?
just do your thing.
What
Do you,
feminist
boo-boo.
girls?
Just do your thing. Just do your thing. Like for real. It's just a headache. I don't need that headache. Like, what have you been through? Let me take you back home and live the life that the woman lives.
But the thing
and
is,
then I want to hear you talk.
no. But the thing is nobody like. The things that people go through, like, say I haven't experienced as much trauma and hardships as you. That you can't say that the things that, and this is science. This isn't me. This is social media. Science shows that, like, the things that people go through, that's the fucking heaviest shit. It's similar to maybe a deeper trauma that somebody goes through. I'm not in any way.
Everybody has a different boat.
You're right, but I'm not trying to, like, justify. I had a great upbringing. I was fine. I was never hit, you know. Oh, okay, I was hit twice. I deserved it. But, no. But, you know, I didn't go through the shit that you did. That doesn't take away from mine. It doesn't take away from yours. I'm not trying to minimize or dismiss what you've gone through. I'm still trying to highlight, not dwell on, not live on, and just marinate in other issues. I'm just trying to highlight that there's still injustices that exist. And if we can change it for a better experience for everyone, great. Like, I'm not black. I can only be an ally and be there for my black friends. I can never understand xenophobia or, like, Islamophobia that you've gone through. I can never relate to that. I can't. All I can do is just be empathetic and do my very best to be aware of this problem and not perpetuate, like, white supremacist systems, and do what I can to try to unravel them. And it doesn't feel like a lot.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
As a woman, these are the issues that I have.
But like
you
I
know
said,
what I mean?
again, women have it as like, you talk about the problem, no problem. But it's like saying the women always want to have it as like they're going through the worst.
No, that's 100. You literally just didn't listen to what I said.
I did, but
no,
I'm just saying.
I'm not trying to say we're going through the worst. We all go through shit. Like I said earlier, nobody wins. We're just trying to make a little bit better experience for everyone.
I know, but making better experience is you guys saying, "Oh, I've been through this. I've been through it because you watched social media."
Oh my God. Don't know.
I'm not lying. You just said
Yeah,
you haven't been through all that at all.
Right.
Okay. How did you know? How did you become feminist?
They didn't have social media when I was in high school.
Okay,
Do you realize this?
But how did you become feminist?
Because of a teacher that I had in high school that highlighted that, like, pointed out all these ways that fucking men had treated me and when had talked to me, and I was like, oh, you're right. That's not okay. It's not okay for a guy to tell me he's only gonna walk me home if I make out with him or do more. That's a regular thing in most girls. To be cornered by guys that come up to you and are like, you've always been such a good friend to me.
Every human.
I've always thought about you. Nah.
Okay.
Like, I know, exactly.
Women do the same thing to men.
I'm not saying.
I'm just saying, everybody, we have the same problems. It's the same thing. We're humans. Everybody has the same problems. You're not different than me, and I'm not different than you. It's different, same problem, different situations. I should say. That's it. You're not different than me.
Right.
And I'm not different than him.
It's all just systems of oppression.
Okay, that's it. Don't tell me women and men. That's it. It's
no,
all the same.
Women, men, black people.
Okay, there we go.
Black people. Everybody has.
Problem solved.
Like in the MMA, serious problematic culture of toxic masculinity. If we want to dive into that, not really. We all know it's there. Women can't show their weaknesses. Men can't show their weaknesses because you'll be a little baby. You'll be a little bitch. Whatever. All I'm saying is you're right. There are a lot of the same problems, which is oppression, a lack of understanding, a lack of, like, connection. I can only speak on my problems that I've experienced. I'm not saying they're the worst.
Exactly.
I'm not.
Well, so that's what I'm saying. It's all the same. It's every
We
human.
just want to be heard and understood and respected.
Same thing.
Fuck.
Same thing. Exactly. Same thing. I'll say the same thing. It's basically everybody's going through different problems. Of course, I mean this different. He might has worse problem than me. I have maybe worse than him. It does not matter. Everybody has their own problem. You going through a own problem. It does not make you different because you're a woman and a man. It really does. I do feel some situation though, men beating women up. That's fucked up. That's not cool. You know, that I feel for women. Like I really do. Like, I mean, it's problems though. You know, everybody has their problems. So I feel like it's we need like Muhammad Ali voice. You know, like those guys. Like those guys would go to jail for the stuff they said.
Right.
And I feel like the only time you can do that is fame. Fame and fame and
Right.
fame and fame. Nobody would give a shit about a word I say right now or she says. But as soon as I stop blowing up, if she said something, she's with me. So now she's blowing up. You know what I mean? It's all fame. Come with fame. But it's that's why I really just, it's not like I keep my mouth shut. It's not like I learned how to just like take it, you know, which is probably the worst thing you can do.
Mm.
Like I learned it being married to her, so that was a cool
What do you
thing. But
mean?
holding things in.
Oh yeah.
But
Do that.
it's way better to let stuff out for sure. That's why when you gotta pick your right friends. That's why you gotta have the right friends.
Totally.
It's not like, because I'm holding stuff on and then I don't have nobody to talk to. Not my parents, not my sister, not my brother, whatever. I don't have nothing to talk to. So now I'm creating all this anger and stress and this and that, and then all of a sudden comes out of nowhere, and then I do something stupid happen, you know? I feel like that's why I'm kind of just stay down. Like, you know, I know there's fucked up shit, you know? It's just focus on me, focus on the shit that we going through, and then when I have the opportunity to speak, I'll speak. But I don't have the opportunity to do that without being I'm just trying to live with the people that I love, you know, and people that are around me and all that. I really do. That's why I don't focus on the news. I don't do none of that. Like anything I see in the social media, like it's sad, yeah, but I've been through shit, you know. I've been through sadness. I've been through almost killing myself. I've been through all this and this and that. So I'm trying to change my life first. Mm-hmm. If I change my life, I'm changing everybody's life.
Right.
So I'm taking it step by step. That's why I'm like, I come out to like I was raised different, of course. I mean, I'm from Africa. She's from the United States, but it's all in one though. I mean, we all one. Like it does not make you any different than me, or me makes you different than you. You're not. We're the same. We're the same. It's just how you treat life, and the energy that you give out. If you give out bad energy and you're like, oh, this talking all this, and then you have friends that are being racist and all this, it influences you in the end. You think you don't know it, but it really does.
No, you're
So
totally right.
I feel like it really has to do with parents. Parents.
You'd actually be surprised.
Well, I mean,
I was-
parents and friends. Of course, pick up your friends.
Well,
Your friends, good friends. But I feel like parents, I mean, like, I got raised as, like I know in Morocco, there's a lot of guys, like Christians are like, how you say it, like they're the devil.
Oh jeez.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But guess what? I chose to be their people.
Radical.
Right.
Yeah, what's-
There's fundamentalists
whatever
in
you wanna
any-
call
in
it.
any
This is what I'm
Exactly.
saying though. So everybody creates something, and then they start something like, okay, Christian, I'm Muslim, don't trust him and all that. You know what I mean? But why?
Tribalism.
I'm married to a Christian. I mean,
Right.
Catholic. I was like,
Cultural Catholic.
yeah. Like, what's
Yeah,
what's-
I mean,
what's- what-
born, but you know,
what-
identifying agnostic.
what makes me?
Totally.
Does he make me the devil? I don't care. I'm living my life. Want to be happy. Live my life that I feel like I deserve, and that I'm working for. That's all I care about. And I'm not letting other people affect my life. I'm not. I'm letting people affect my life in a good way, not in a bad way. Not at all. I can't have that. Like you said, it's show me your friends, I'll show you your future. I'll take that to the heart. So the more friends, the better friends around. I mean, there's always the guys not gonna believe in you. There's all this and this and that. That's when I feel like I always want to do some for the weak mental guys, or people I should say. Not guys. Let me take that back. People. In general, I really it drives me nuts. Drives me nuts when I see people mentally weak. Drives me nuts. Like I don't know, I'm trying to figure out something like a charity or something, for these kids to change their life. You don't need money to change your life. You really don't need all this to change your life. If you really follow the path that you want to follow, and then the people around you are following the same, like taking you to the same path, you have a beautiful life. You don't have to worry about nothing. That's what I feel like. I mean, we're in this life. There's you're gonna have money problems. You're gonna have this. You're gonna have this. It's the way you take it. I can say like, fuck this. This is bullshit. God don't love me. God don't do this. Why is he doing this to me and all this and that? Like, I don't know who hasn't been through it. I've been through it.
Those people are toxic. Those are the people that
That's what I'm saying. So I've been
fuck out of your circles.
That's what I'm saying. I've been toxic, and I've been how you say influential, like
positive influence.
Positive. So I know exactly what takes both. So I know when I see a weak-minded people, I'm like, it's terrible for you, but you're affecting everybody around you.
Right.
So that's what drives me nuts. It's like I can't like you can't trust, like let's say I can't trust somebody who, like, as a parent, like, oh, I'm weakly mentally weak, and then she married me, and then we have kids, and then I'm like,
you just project and lead them.
Like the kids are gonna go. Let's say if I have a girl and she's daddy's girl, what do you think she's gonna take everything that I do? If I'm really want this, I'm doing that. That's a different story. But I can't. I feel like it's the energy and the way you handle stuff is what makes you different than everybody in this world. You're not average. There's no everybody's different. Everybody was born to be something. Everybody was born to be a fucking light in a star in the fucking sky. Everybody is. It's the way is you taking the star and making it. Well, you don't want to be shining in the dark, so you want to be shining in the day. Nobody's gonna see that. Nobody is. It really isn't. And then that's why you gotta really take that negative energy and just fucking let it out. Just talk to somebody. Just find good friends. That's the main thing I said. Friends are keys. Friends are keys. Especially in high school. I seen it. Nothing but drugs and all this. I've been through it. I was the bad kid in freshman year. In Morocco, I was not that. I was a straight A student in Morocco. Because I had my dad on my ass. Like, he's about to whip my ass if I do something bad. Like, if I miss a day in school, I'm fucking getting marks everywhere. I'm getting tattooed up. That's how the crazy it is. But it's all how you raise your kids and how the people around you. That's the biggest thing. You're always gonna have somebody like a teacher and all this trying to influence you. It's the way you take stuff.
Oh yeah.
You can't. You gotta learn how to. Okay. You think that, keep that way, and that's what I feel like helped me so much, and he's helping me so much. Is somebody said, "Oh, this," and I'm like, okay, cool. Mm-hmm. Watch me. I'm like, I'm the loudest guy in here probably. I was like in the gym, but I still argue with people. I'm still defensive. I'm still this and that.
Fucking Denver.
Yeah.
I'm still
noisy.
I mean,
Okay.
I'm still defensive and all that, but there's a reason for me why I'm this way. I mean, it really is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was not the Youssef 15 years ago or 10 years ago. It wasn't. It's a whole different story.
Well,
but
and that's always just the goal, is just to keep evolving. And that's like, I have this funny little spiral tattoo. And I always think about it because it's like life works, the cyclic nature of life is you're always coming back to the same place with a different perspective.
Fibonacci sequence.
Exactly.
that's what I'm saying. Life goes in circles.
It does.
Like, you're gonna get
not the
old.
same person.
Yeah.
And like always like the analogy of a river. if you stand in the same place at a river, it's never the same water that's passing through.
Mhm.
It's never the same water. You're in the same place always, but it's never the same water.
Be water, my friend. Pass all the way. If there's a rock, pass through it. You don't hold up. Just pass through it.
Exactly.
Be water. That's Bruce Lee. Be water is my friend.
My buddy, shout out to Evan Taylor out there, but I think the camera might have died on us at this point. But
Shit.
Evan, it was just recent. I heard the shutter a second ago, so
Oh, no.
we're good for most everything on that. Audio still right.
Okay, good.
That's perfect. That's the most important part. Of
Okay,
it.
good.
Yeah. But shout out to Evan Taylor, because I'm a little bit of a fight fire with fire kind of mentality person that
Oh,
way. I can be a little bit tense at times, and so he tells me on that basically to be water, that I need to not as much fight fire with fire.
Yeah, you can't.
So you also
Yeah,
be
you
water
can't.
that
You
way.
can't. You really can't.
But then just to kind of tie that back as we kind of dwindled down here with talking about how the people who you associate. I mean, and yeah, when you're young, that's a huge factor. But even more so throughout your whole life, like, the people that you're around all the time are constantly in the mix. Or the saying that always sticks out to me that I believe in: have friends who force you to level up.
Mm-hmm.
And I can say this right here with with an honest, as most of an endearing tone that I can. Thank you guys for your friendship, because you guys have made me better. You guys challenge me to want to take what I do to the next level. And part within that, and that's why I wanted to have you on the show today,
Well,
is
thank
having
you.
these discussions like we had with some of these different topics, that I'm very much a knuckle dragger with some shit. Like, I it's not that I want to have such, I guess a narrow view sometimes.
Right.
And I don't even think that it's a narrow, it's just a lack of awareness to
Exactly.
the other sides.
Exactly.
And so having someone who can speak with actual substance behind something versus more so just, like pounding a fist on a table to it.
Right.
I value hearing other people's opinions on things,
Right.
and
It
something
opens
that-
your eyes. Yeah,
Exactly.
it just
Right.
opens, and that's why that's the hardest part is really you need to like, wow, okay, like I, what's different between me and a successful guy? Really, there's no difference.
Mhm.
There is no difference. It really isn't. So why if you lose? What you're in a fucking. This is what it's like. It's almost like a script,
Mhm.
There's always just a script, They say there's the light under the tunnel.
At the end
That
of the
like the under the tunnel. It's all script. Like you gonna go through some shit. It's the way you handle yourself, and then the people around you be like, okay, how you gonna handle yourself? How you gonna go through hard times? And that's where really the champions of life, I should say. That's the guys who are different,
Mhm.
They're way different than other people.
Right.
So that's where I'm big at. And I'm trying. I'm like I can't like I can only help so many people, but I don't have that like the power to do different things. Like it's awesome. Like you see my teammate Ian doing guys like in prison and all this, and you see other guys helping other colleges or high schools and all that. So it really, you see it's your energy is infectious. If you're being negative, if one person is being negative, for half of the team is being negative and tired and all that, guess what? The whole team is gonna be tired and that. But if one person is negative and the rest is all good, that person is we just overwhelm him.
Mhm.
So it's like you either have to make a choice.
Well, and that, and that's something we consider here at Factory X a lot with the coaches, is if there's somebody who is a talented individual with a bad attitude and a bad outlook, we know that their personal growth is stunted. We know that.
Mhm.
But is their skill level worth keeping them around as a training partner, or will their toxic energy be too infectious? So far, the answer is just like, luckily, everybody's so driven and so potent and so, like, feeding off of the positive and feeding off the good energy, you know, and that, yeah, it's worth it to keep them around just as a good training partner.
Right.
For their physical, for what their physical contributions.
Right.
Their mental, you know, spiritual, emotional, whatever, not so much. But the fortitude in here just that overall this is a fragile environment that we live in. We're very man, the mentality in here is just progress, growth, greatness, always.
Right.
You know, endlessly, consistently. And so even a mind like that just in here, it won't weaken the fabric, you know, but it's things that need to be considered.
Well,
It's different in your personal circle, you know.
What I learned from Eric Thomas actually, E.T.
E.T. the hip hop preacher. What up?
Is it's like he said about like Floyd will make you fight with emotions, and then that's why he beat you. I feel like that's what life does to you. It tests your emotion.
Yeah.
So like it's the way you treat it. Like, you know when they say angry mind is a narrow mind. It's basically what life is doing to you. It's
Shout
gonna
out
be
Michael
angry.
J. White.
That's what I'm saying. It's
Shit, yeah.
never back down. That's what I'm saying though. It's more, it's
Well,
testing you, testing your emotions, the way you respond. And remember, humans are not great when they do all emotions. They do not do well.
No. Well,
And that's why you see the top guys always do so good, because they can handle being cracked. They can handle being in deep problems, submissions, and all that. So
yeah, the pressure that happens, and you know, or the growth that happens under pressure. But like, there's a saying. It's like I love anecdotes and quotes and sayings. People can just encapsulate what I'm thinking in like a neat and tidy sentence. But it's like life is 1% what happens, 99% how you react to it.
yeah, well,
And it's
100% agree. It's the way you react to everything in life. So.
You know, and with that, like I say, like, you know, you've definitely stressed that to me many different times. You know, especially, you know, we came to bond initially over a common tragedy.
Yeah.
And so, you know, you helped me in so many ways that I can't even begin to tell you, as far as like keeping my mindset right, positivity. And then you too, Kat, you know, the day of, you know, when it was my brother's birthday that day, you know, there was a few people that had reached out, but that alone, like, just the thoughtfulness in that, like, moment, like, I can't tell you how much that meant, like, right then and there. And so, like I say, just
I'm so
all
glad to hear
along,
that.
like, the influence, like, you guys made me a better person.
What's the
Just
small things
even
too?
away from all
Uh-huh.
from all of this shit,
Yeah.
away from all the business, away from all of that, as a person, as a human being, as I sit right here, I am better for knowing you guys.
Well, thank you.
Oh, you make us better too. That's what I'm
I
saying. It's
know.
like, it's more, it's back and forth. You know, like, people forget. It's like the little things. Like, all you need to hear is good job, or happy birthday, or oh, you've been training for so long, man. Keep it up. Like, you're doing awesome. This and that. Like, those little things will go a mile and a mile and a mile away. Like, you know, it was like all the guys that come tell me, oh, congrats, and like, keep it up, and this and that. Like, I still take it. Like, I mean, it goes a long way. I'm like, wow, I am doing what I'm doing. You know, I am impressing myself. I am, and everybody just joining that energy. You know, it's not like, and then when you lose, and then you really gotta find who's really that good energy that you need. You know, and who's really on the phone. You know, I was like, I remember when I was with Chris Gutierrez. He was on his phone like this the whole week. When he found the UFC, the whole week, just like this. And then as soon as he lost, blink. The whole night he was not even on his phone.
Yeah, I texted him that night. I didn't know if a phone call was appropriate.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
So
you know,
it's like, that tells you though, like, see,
that's
that goes a
where I
long way.
feel like, you know, like, that's a tough balance. You know, like, so I mean, I always, you know, if I'm not there with you personally, like, I've been there ever since we met for every one of your fights, but for everybody else, you know, like, if I can't be there physically, then I always try to at least shoot you a message.
Right.
Yeah, like
And I
I'm
don't
like go a
want to
long
be
way.
too far into, especially if it's after a loss or something like that. Like, like I try to think of how I always thought the way that I was as a competitor. Like I didn't necessarily yeah, I can check my messages as I see them, and great. Like I know who reached out to me, know what time they did, so on and so forth. But I may not always take the call, or I may not be,
That's
maybe
okay.
the call isn't the right. So that's where I try to find that, figure out what's the right balance or with the right person. So
Right.
but I always want to make sure that regardless, I'm always there in some form.
Yeah,
No.
I agree. I try to make it a point that to reach out to we don't have a lot of losses here. Fuck yeah, Factory X. But I try to make it a point to reach out to the guys when they do lose, especially when they lose. Because they need that support, they need that reinforcement, they need that positivity. And one thing that I'm really grateful for is what Mark and Jera, have started doing on social media is highlighting guys when they lose. It was the most heartbreaking thing when I know, and I told Mark this a long time ago, I think, that it's heartbreaking to know that we didn't win because I don't see a selfie posted. To that lack of post, that lack of engagement indicates that means just as much as a post. And I hate that. So I think I was really thrilled when they brought to our staff meeting that they're going to start making that a point to really highlight guys when they lose. And I think that's hugely important. You don't, don't post a selfie.
We still, I feel like we're the only team that ever posted when we lose. Still.
Yeah, you really don't see that.
And so,
You really don't.
they still, Gerald did a great job, It's like, oh, we're still proud of you, we're still with you all the way. You're like, you know what I mean? Those things go a little way, but when you go other teams is, when you see a loss, you don't see a post.
Right, I know.
But when
and
they
I
win,
hate it.
and there's a world champion and this now, they blow up.
Oh, exactly.
But that's what I'm saying, so it's little things. It's little things.
Right.
Little things go a long way.
I remember, I think it was Chris. He said into the camera sorry guys, right? And I was like, don't be sorry.
Right.
Don't be sorry.
Like you went out there and fought your heart out.
Oh, exactly. We're proud of you. And it's just the universe has a weird way of working itself out. Everything happens the way it's supposed to happen. It's so weird in fighting. But
Everything
what?
happens for a reason.
It does. It has to. You can't believe anything else. Otherwise, you will go mad. You will be the deepest.
And that's
cynic.
one of the ones that I still struggle with.
Me
everything
too.
For a reason.
Every day.
Because with in each of our situations, with our brothers, still to me to this day, I struggle to think that there was any true reason for something like that to have happened. I get it, when I take a step back, if I were to look at probably from someone else from my situation directly, I could probably say, there's some sort of linear association to it in some capacity.
No, probably
But,
not. No, probably
like,
not linear.
Maybe or you could say that there was a reason to or something.
There's something.
But
you can't, and
I
that's
haven't found
Not yet.
that.
See, for
yet,
me,
so I
it's-
always I used to think that, but that's one thing that's still to this day.
right.
I don't know
Well,
that you could tell me that there was a reason for
That had to happen.
See, for
feel
me,
that.
I know everything does happen for a reason, but I really look back at it and be like, my brother was not living the happiest life. He really wasn't. He haven't seen his mom for 10 years. Well, 8 years. And then he really didn't have no papers, so he's working under the table and working all these hard jobs and hanging out with bad friends and this and that. And then I feel like it's that's what my first thing is why, why his life gotta go away. But I feel like it's almost better for him not to struggle with the way he was going.
Right.
And I feel like that was, and then he did a whole.
Tough, though.
It did a whole different thing to me. It changed my life. So, and I feel like it's in a good way. Like I said, when I had the other interview about past month, I was like, I feel like I'm doing two dreams, mine and my brother's.
Right.
That's where I'm at. But it's all catching up. You know. I mean, that's all I care about. You know. It's me knowing that he's at peace. You know. I'm not. He doesn't have to go drink and go out and do all this.
Have mortal suffering.
Yeah, you know, I was like, I can't tell you how many times he went to the urgent care. You know, I was like,
Really?
yeah, I mean the ER, I should say.
I don't know.
I mean, I had an ambulance pick him in the car because he was asleep, can't wake up, like that, like. It's almost, it's like why, you know, as a 24, 23, 24-year-old kid, you know, what did he deserve to do that, to get to that happen to him? But are we like, I mean, it sucks though, like, why couldn't it be me, you know, like, why him, you know, it's all that. That's when you started thinking. So I'm just, just let the thinking go away, you know,
Yeah.
just let it happen, you know, just, it is what it is. It's for a greater thing.
Right, and that's you know, I think that's really like poignant and just well stated. But you know, like we talked about, that's kind of thinking. That's when you start dwelling in that trauma.
Mhm.
That's when you live in it, and you don't, like, we've all seen people that they can't grow from those traumas, and they stay stuck in them, and they become that toxic energy, that toxic personality that is just an energy drain. And it's just, they're one of those people, the kind of people that you just can't be around. You just have to let them go. You can't change them. You can't save them. It's gonna bring you down, you know. But like, yeah, you have to have that positive that growth mentality to be able to move past it, even if you don't have all the answers, all the whys. That's why I'm happily agnostic, because I know answers beget more questions, you know, so I'd never be fully satisfied. So I would not be able to we couldn't comprehend these
And
big
that's where
answers.
we agree with a lot on that. Like, it's not that I'm ruling out the chance of there being something else out there, something higher, or whatever, but you know, just based off of the circumstances from my life,
Yeah,
like, show me a sign.
totally.
I'm willing to be, you know, to believe, to
Right.
you know, drink the Kool-Aid, or whatever you want to say. Not necessarily, not go, you know, full blown with it, but
Yeah, I know.
but to actually,
I feel
like,
ya.
but, you know, have
Yeah,
that sort of
you
belief
are
again.
you want
know.
to
You
you
know,
want
like,
something, yeah, to believe at least, you know. It's not like, I mean,
just because sometimes, you know, like, I mean, well, you guys have been down to Pueblo, like, you know, see, like, I just still go back down there sometimes now, and like drive around through, you know, through the old neighborhood, or go around certain parts, and like, people are suffering every fucking day, and for a large amount of them, it's by no circumstance, and that's to a small scale in comparison to stuff that you had to witness growing up, you know, coming from Morocco and places like, you know, other countries around the world. Like, we still have it a lot more fortunate here in America than a lot of
Totally.
other places.
oh, 100%.
But
yeah.
but down there, you know, I mean, that's
Oh, yeah.
arguably, that's some of the, you know, in certain
Worse
spots,
than here, yeah.
that's some of the more, I guess, strife-facing circumstances
Yeah.
that you could come across.
Oh, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
It's almost like, you know how they say, you know, in the talent kid in the gym, they said it's wasted talent.
Mm-hmm.
I seen so many smart guys. I seen so many talented guys in the streets. They just don't know how to get it to really change their life.
Mm-hmm.
They just didn't ever have that opportunity. So that's why I call it in the streets, when so many people can easily change their life.
Well, yeah.
But they just don't have that one guy to go to, you know.
Or sometimes it's just that one wrong turn, and, you know, like
You're there at the wrong time,
You
yeah.
know, the Bugs Bunny made the wrong turn in Albuquerque type
Albuquerque.
of situation,
Yeah.
and, you know, and for some people, that's the difference of life and death.
Totally.
You know,
That's what I'm
especially
saying.
when you grow
Yeah,
up in
some
a-
people
in
die
an
for no
environment
reason.
like
Yeah.
that. You know, I mean, you make one, you know, one wrong decision, or, you know, depending on where you make one wrong turn, for that matter. I mean, there was a kid who down there, it was a big story that he got smoked in the middle of an intersection in one of the busiest parts of town because someone had was a mistaken identity. He was driving like a silver Audi or something like that. It was a gang related hit.
Jesus.
Dude thought that it was someone from rival set, something like that. The kid was like 17 years old. Innocent kid shot dead right there in the middle of an intersection because of something like that. Like, but that's something that happens
And you
in
can't-
those environments.
And you can't, and you can't say, like, there's so many circumstances where it's like, well, those are choices that they made. But
Right.
then there's circumstances that, no, that just happened.
That's the wrong time.
That just happened. And
You just
how
get in
do
there
we,
to the wrong time.
what's
yeah.
the reason? How can we explain? How can I let that go?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, you never let it go. I mean, like, it's still like my brother's with me every time. Like I see that when he was laying down on the floor and all that back in my head. Like I just choose
I
not
can
to.
imagine.
I just choose not to keep it in there. You know, it's like whenever I'm going through hard times, and I'm like, he pushes you more, but it really is. Let the man in peace. I don't need to bring memories back. You know, and that's how I feel about it. Like, he's with you. You know, it's like if you bring him back, he's in the same position. So I was just like, let the man enjoy his life. Let him live at peace. You know. So that's where I'm at. But it sucks though. I mean, it stays with you, and then when you like, especially if I was a brother, and then I got somebody to got killed because of identity. I'm like, I don't know. That's gonna be.
How do you fucking live with yourself?
So that's what I'm saying. So it's gonna be like, it's gonna be rough on the family for sure. I mean, like, it's gonna take years, maybe decade to get over it, but maybe a month, maybe, I don't know. It's just,
but I don't know if do you fully let it go? Do you? Have you?
No.
Yeah, I don't know that. I mean, I'm still within the first year of it. I don't know how long it I don't think let go is ever going to be
Well,
the decision.
you're
like,
right.
To make maybe more
Make
so like
peace
make
with it,
peace to
right.
a certain extent, because I'll be honest, like Thanksgiving fucked me up.
Really?
Like, just the fact that
You're not there, it's first Thanksgiving,
empty table type of post type of thing. Like, that was and then my family I decided to do a toast in his honor, and like at that point, like that's
when the
what
memories
just
come back.
kind of like sent me over the top with it. Like, I just kind of sat there, like, to not be rude to everybody who fixed food, all that. I just kind of sat there, ate, and then I hosted it at my house. My family came over to my house up in Fort Collins, and I went down and I sat in the garage for like 20 minutes and just fucking cried my eyes out. Just in that way.
It's
I
normal.
wasn't about to do it in front of, everybody up there, and I guess call that, your toxic.
Whatever. No, but
I am. I do.
You don't want to
It
cry
does not matter.
You don't want to cry at a party.
It's just not. I mean, I will. I mean, if he come up to me, I would let it out. It does not matter to me. He's my brother.
Nobody
I mean,
wants
everybody.
to cry at a party, no
everybody.
matter who they are.
Everybody would know. It's family. It's nothing
family.
different.
And like I guess call it like, I don't know if you've ever seen like the old Eddie Murphy like stand-up special or whatever. Like this is my house.
Oh my.
Oh
God,
yeah, of course. I love that. I love
Like,
that. I love that.
Like,
I watched it like 3
so
times.
It was like you're in my fucking house. Like no.
And then his wife, you can get the
in this
fuck
bitch.
out too.
I'm stoic in this motherfucker. Like,
Right.
you're not seeing that weakness.
In my
Yeah.
house.
Like I'm the man of this house. I'm gonna be the strong figure for it. Like that's like that was just my So you know what? I'll keep the poker face here,
Right.
and I'll lick my wounds on my
See,
on my own.
for me, it's
It's not always the best way to do it. Like,
yeah,
self-admit.
I feel like life is like, the trouble, the struggle that I go with, like, whatever, finance, whatever, and then the happiness and victories and all that. Fighting is the one that really brings me, like, go see your brother. That one time. Because I've been so focused and so struggling or so happy and all this that I forgot about my brother.
Family.
Like family and all that. So in one moment I'm like, fuck, let's make a time to go see my brother. And that's what happened right before I went to Minnesota. It popped up in my head. I was like, because my brother's graveyard is like 50 minutes,
away?
yeah, something like that. So I was
Bennett,
like,
Colorado.
so I was just like, I'm just like, you know what, this is the time to go. Like, okay, have this time for him, you know. And I can't really stay like. I stayed fine, like I composed myself, no problem. But as soon as I called my mom, it was out. Like I had the phone like this, and I'm just crying because I showed her the picture of her. I mean, the live video of her son's grave.
Wow.
She hasn't seen for over 11 years right now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when it just out for me. I was just like, wow, like yeah, whatever, you know. But it really put. I was just like, you know, change your life. That's what it pushes you, you know. And it's like whatever, you know, I'll be there. So.
You know, so as we, you know, kind of now officially dwindle this down because this is officially on record. I would say it's safe to say the longest podcast that I've done at this point.
Cool.
It's
I
been
don't wanna
one
have
of the
us on-
most, you
yeah.
know, one of the most incredible in-depth conversations across
Especially
a
the
wide
feminist
variety
one, you know
of
what I'm saying?
topics.
Good. I'm just gonna use
I'm
I'm
saying.
using your UFC success to just further my feminist agenda, and I didn't realize it till
There's like a whole podcast. The whole 25 minutes was all us arguing.
No, it's not
about-
arguing. It's me just trying to enlighten you
See,
and
I don't
provide
know.
awareness.
I would say that it was a good engagement of dialogue more so than an argument.
Let's get
some hype up.
It was
Let's
a
go.
healthy
You know,
debate.
there was
a
some
healthy
healthy
debate.
conversation
Fully.
points back and forth.
Fully.
And then I was just sitting here with my my tallies and the squeeze.
I know. I was like,
Going
man, like,
ding,
well, fuck you,
ding,
fuck
ding,
you.
ding, ding,
No.
ding.
It's like
And
the
then
Italians out here.
Then Youssef
She's
would say
talking about
something, and I would
Italians.
just see your expression, just like I cannot wait for my turn.
I know. I try
It's-
really
it's-
hard to
it's-
listen.
It's fine. Though.
It
I mean,
takes-
it is what it is. Everybody has a sensitive subject, you know.
I know.
It really does. But like, for me, I'm trying to live my way there too, not your only way. You know,
I know.
that's where I'm at. I was like, I want to make sure everybody's heard.
Right.
And I know I fuck up that a lot
Not
too.
just women.
And I know I really fuck up that a lot. Like I struggle with that a lot still. Like to this day, I'm
What
like
do you mean?
not letting people let their things out. You know.
Yeah.
Which is it's all part of the life though. It's all part of experience.
He
You
has
know?
a very sensitive,
you know, but-
sensitive wife that's an external processor and needs to talk about a lot of things.
I signed up for it, didn't I?
You did.
But whatever, you know. But
I mean, it's obviously doing very well. You know,
It is.
very good dynamic between the two
Yeah.
of you guys.
I mean, we clash heads a lot, but it's
We're just so stubborn.
it's all like I said. I'll give her credit. She got me out of the dark side, you know, and that's why I'm glad. Like I'm not trying to say my dad's like I'm glad I kind of moved out of my dad's house to myself, get an apartment, me and my girl, you know, and all this and that. So it was a good a great feeling to kind of just see the life on the other side, you know. So
Well, it's hard to change your thought patterns without changing your environment.
so
You know?
Absolutely.
that's what I'm saying. Having people, man, it's definitely a big thing. So
Having good people in an environment where you feel safe and empowered, you know, and confident.
Absolutely. Yo, so Kat, is there anything that you want to get out there to anybody who's been listening to us that we might not have touched on today?
listen for 3 hours and then you gotta listen to this.
Stop it. No, I really think we covered it. It's just been great. One of the things I just want to give shout out to the comments from the Peanut Gallery.
Comments from the peanut.
Comments from the Peanut Gallery. What up?
Thank you.
I just think you're awesome, and the older I get, the easier it is for me to spot bullshit, and I just have such a low tolerance for shitty people, for bad energy, and fucking fake people. I just can't do it anymore. And you know what? I am so blessed. We're so blessed to be in this environment where MMA is so humbling. It's so authentic. You can't play fighting. Like Mark always says, you can't play. There's no room for pretend here. So you meet some of these honest, humble people. There's definitely a necessary ego element, which I see. But for the most part, I just am grateful for that, for the people that hold this space. And I'm so grateful I have met you and just recognize real. Straight up. I'm just grateful for your authenticity, for what you're doing for fighters, for what you're doing just for the people in your circle, like to have a friend, a sponsor, a fan, like a real homie and a support system. I'm just so grateful, and you're the kind of people that we just all need, where we can have these multi-dimensional relationships. I'm so grateful, and I think what you're doing is just awesome.
Thank you. That means a lot. That's humbling.
No, like I told you, man, it's all like every time I was like, yeah, it's not like you not when you started this, you're not the like the top of the top. Like nobody knows all this and that, but I'm just like, but when you sent me that picture when I was in the UFCPI, that was like I was like, wow, I didn't like just a short will make that like noticeable, you know. So it shows like the work is it's showing the progress. It's showing by itself. So that's why I'm saying every time just that's weird. Like I just like keep it up, man. It's all there, you know. And like I can't thank you enough for the support, and then she can't. She obviously same way she feels. So that's where we're like I said, we're growing together. It's not like you started with me as, oh, I'm in the UFC already. You started with me and it's that. You know what I mean? You started with me since, what was it? Third, fourth fight? Yeah, well,
so I met you
third.
right before the Paramount
Joey Banks,
fight.
yeah. So that's my fourth fight. So that's, I mean, like, it's startup, you know? So it's as we grow up together and all that. So that's always awesome to see. So that's, it's a great thing.
And the passion shows. The passion shows. And I just...
Yeah, I mean, you won't fucking drive 2 hours or something like that just to do this and traffic and all that. So
shit, 2 hours is light. That's nice.
That's
what I'm saying.
Right?
So it's like it takes a lot. It takes a lot to do what you love, and that's the beauty of it, though. You're doing something that you really interests you in life and kind of just take you out of just a regular fucking job. You know, like that's fine. You do a regular job, but you still doing. In the end of the day, you're still doing a lot of greater things just in general for yourself. That's first of all for yourself, and now you spreading out to the people. You know, it's not just to yourself. So that's always good to see.
And you're just a joy to talk to and be around. You know me, I can't stand most people, but so it's just a joy to have you around. So we always love having you come up and see us. At
it means a lot,
Factory
guys. You know, it really does, and I can't thank you guys enough. Like I say, for everything throughout the entire last. About 8 months, 8 months, yeah. Close to a year.
Pretty much our whole marriage.
Right around, and all this and this. True. And so like I say, I am humbled, I'm grateful, I'm thankful to be around for the things that I am. It means a lot to me, but at the same time, I do have a strong passion for all of this. Like, it is something that I 100% believe in what I'm doing, and I believe that together as we're doing the things that we do, as a collective, as a brand, and it's still I have such a grand vision for where things are going to go. It's just a matter of we just have to keep on crawling before we
absolutely
it shows. Trust me, it's all that matters. If you don't have to see it, is like I said, impress yourself. Everybody else will be impressed, and that's what I'm saying. We won't be talking about it's getting better if you be like, my shit is getting better, my shit is this and that, and this and this. Like, it is. It just shows. You don't have to speak. It really shows. Yeah. I mean, if we really want to speak and let it out, that would probably bring more noise. But you're doing it the humble way and the most the hard working way. Just showing the work. So that's what matters, to be honest. If you have that, you have pretty much a lot of things set. So.
And, I appreciate that, I am, I'm working hard. I'm trying to figure out new avenues to bring value to the table, to earn that proverbial spot at the table, if you will.
Right.
And that's, if you'd have told me a few months ago that I'm exchanging messages back and forth with Trevor Whitman, talking about, media and the gloves and his gloves and all those sorts of things, I thought, you're crazy. That's a fucking legend in the game.
He's a legend.
But to have Trevor, yesterday told me the shots are awesome, brother. Love the support.
Oh, that's so wonderful.
To have something like that coming from, I just...
posted it, too.
Yeah.
I know that I'm doing something right.
Totally.
I'm far from where this can go and be, but I'm diligently putting in as much effort and process as I can to try to help get there. And all I can do is hope that my effort is noticed more so than anything. Like, I don't want to be given shit. I don't want to have handouts or anything. Everybody needs help along the way. That's a fact. But I don't want it to ever be a situation to where, you know, it's just a handout just for the handout type of thing.
Right,
like, I want to
totally.
know that I brought value to it.
Well, it's
that I'm
noticed in
free.
this side. I'm pretty sure every athlete in here, it's noticed. So it takes a lot for a guy to be driving all the way here, flying and all this to fights and all this and that. I mean, it takes a lot. It takes a lot of dedication and a lot of, okay, this is my vision. This is what I want. I want to support all these guys. I want to do all these things. You know, it's not. And then the best thing is like you said, it's just keeping it real. You know, just doing your thing. It's just, you don't need no, like you said, your mentality is like, oh, you need no help. Of course, like you said,
Everybody
people
needs
need help. Yeah.
We're
So I'm
social
saying-
beings. We need help.
So I'm saying, but like your mentality is like going, oh, like, I'm doing this, and the help comes along by itself. You're not really asking for it because people wanna join that progress. They wanna join that success. You know.
Right. They want to be a part of
They
it.
want to jump into that train. So that's the beauty about this life. To be honest, I would say life in general. So.
And it, you know, part of my thought process and just my approach to it in that way is Chris Rock had a saying,
Uh-oh.
and it was
Fucking
it's not something that you would even think that would be a Chris Rock quote, but he said something
that's really
along the
fun.
lines of that there was a time when his car had broken down, and he was on the side of the road and he stood there trying to flag someone down for, you know, half an hour or something like that, couldn't get anybody to stop. But as soon as he started like trying to start pushing his car, like and getting it off the road and trying to push it on his own, said immediately within a couple of minutes, people pull over to try to help him. And so he said that the way that he interpreted that was people don't want to or are less willing to help someone who is just kind of saying like, you know, like help me or like put the hand out, versus if they see someone who is doing for themselves, but you know, in that situation, obviously if you're a single person pushing a car, you're going to need a little bit of help and support. But if you see that person putting out that effort, you're much more inclined to help grease the axle. If you
Actually, funny story. We were
Interesting.
going to the
That's
wedding.
fascinating.
We were going to a wedding, and then you would not believe this. So it was me, Markel, Austin, and Kat. And then
The
in
gang.
the side, I see a Honda, a front wheel Honda stuck in the snow. Breckenridge.
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 Breaking Bridge.
And that's like where the snow, you know. So
Snow.
so like we seen the guy stuck, and I was just passing. And like I'm just me and like passing. Like okay, he probably gonna get out. And then I was like, Cal was like, we probably should go help him. And I'm like, should we? Like second guess myself. Like
I'm in
should we?
heels, knowing I'm not getting out.
So like,
No.
should we? And everybody in the back, should we? And then it was just like, all right, fuck it, we just make a U-turn. And then I had to get the car, like kind of help him how to get the car out because he had it like he was, and thank God he was going to the same wedding that we were going
I
to.
know. So
Small
funny.
world, that's crazy.
So and I was like, he was like, you guys going to the wedding because he saw us dressed up, and I was like, yeah, you going to Ty's wedding? He's like, yeah. So we got him out. We parked at the place, and then I was gonna give him a ride anyway. We parked at this apartment place, but we don't want to get like a ticket or anything or tow the car, especially for him, But we just took him, helped him, and we made it on time perfectly to the wedding.
Oh, it was just hilarious because somehow an African that just got his license not even a few months ago is the best driver of all of us. I don't know how that happened. And so freaking Youssef kicks this poor guy out of the front seat. He's like, I'm driving to the wedding. I'm driving your car. Just handled it. Kat, you drive my car. I'm driving this kid's car. This poor guy.
And heading back, I was racing with the Ferrari, so that was fun.
Oh, Jesus, don't remind me.
Well, I mean, you gotta have your fun though, right?
I was having fun, boy.
Too much fun.
I'm sometimes crazy.
He likes to think he's in a sports car, and it's terrifying. I'm paranoid.
So I don't think we hit him off earlier. What you want to list off your sponsors? out there, everybody that you need to thank, all the mentions. Shout out to Jim Walter as well.
Shout out to Jim. What's up, Jim? Mark Montoya. Always just want to thank Mark Montoya and Jera. Shout out to Jera. Jera, the woman behind the successful man. She runs this fucking place. That woman does so much. And just that whole family is awesome. The culture that they bring in here, what we're doing for fighters, for up and coming guys. Big shout out, thanks to them.
Oh yeah, you can tell the energy is amazing. Oh
yeah, it's amazing in here. I want some sponsors. Yeah, anyone that wants to sponsor me, particularly food and yoga pants, I'm available. Like I said, I'm all over Youssef's Instagram, so you get that visibility.
I'll thank Denver Chiropractor, LLC, Denver Sports Recovery, Comments from the Peanut Gallery, of course, Locked In, Jim, Landau, Factory X, Northern Climate Control, and Receptra. That's the guys who've been behind me, so big shout out to them.
Perfect, my man. So I can say thank you guys so much for taking the time to just sit here and banter back and forth for a couple of hours. It was fun.
Thank you. I had a blast. This is great. Let's do it again.
Well, like I say, when I was talking to Youssef the other night, like we kicked this idea around before, so like, well, ask Kat, see if she wants to do it.
Hell yeah!
So I was like, fuck yeah, we'll have a great discussion.
She's getting makeup ready and everything, boy.
I know. I put makeup on to be here because the lighting's terrible.
That's awesome. But so just real quick on my end, a quick couple of shout outs for all of you folks out there. I want to throw a shout out to Lion League Music as well as Beyond Bridges Music, who has helped with a lot of the audio side of things for the project throughout the time. All the rest of the athletes with the comments from the Peanut Gallery sponsored athlete squad. That's Austin Jones. That is Justin Osborne, Jordan Titoni, Selena Rowland, Chris Gutierrez. Thank you guys all so much. Daniel Scary Carey as well. And then, thank you very much, Youssef. That's like I say, that's it's always a great thing to spend, or a great time with you guys, period. Thank you. That's all I can say. That's the best two words that I can put in this is thank you.
Aw, ditto.
Yeah. So, for everybody out there listening, thank you for following us along, and I thank you for your continued support. Have a great night.
I've been underestimated since I was a little one. When I get it poppin', I promise I handle business with the best of them. You scooping it up with a silver spoon if you say that you get it out the mud. Daddy's caddy money is paying for you to flex in front. Something's telling me you ain't never really sold some drugs, but you rapping about it like you actually about it, it's a bluff. You cooking up some dope, it's about time I turn the oven off. You riding other rappers' dicks, it's about time that you lick the balls. Creeping on the come up, don't sleep on the underdog. I'm walking with a stutter step, but first I had to learn to crawl through broken glasses I would see, but I always shot for the stars. But when arrow hit these candy rappers in they fucking job, but you ain't gonna spit it through the wire like how Kanye did. Handed everything in life for me, I'm a top of ramen kid. Shit, my parents never bought any of us a fucking whip. Probably why I'm not a pussy. Underdogs eat from the garbage. Hey, yeah, I'm a motherfucking underdog. Hey, yeah, I'm a motherfucking underdog. Yeah, I'm a motherfucking underdog. Yeah, I'm a motherfucking underdog. Look, it's funny how this fucked up system stays watching over me. I hope you know y'all made the monster like my mama's ovaries. My foes approaching, they get slaughtered, dropping on the floor to me. Straight comatose gon' catch your body if you're getting close to me. If I grew up starving with you, better know we gonna eat. Grew up hustling, juggling struggles, now we gonna feast. My ride or dies, I thank you for all helping me have room to breathe. Haven't weathered the storm, but at least now it's just a gentle breeze. All this hell I've been through, you could probably say I'm traumatized. After this drama, still this mastermind couldn't be compromised. Yo, tried to get me signed on the dotted lines. I'd rather get it from the gutter. Kids get handouts all the time. Couldn't even start around getting handouts all the time. That's not how I'm gonna get mine. That's not how I'm gonna get mine. Motherfucker, ball for mine. Hitting pips, split your noggin. I'm killing kids like it's Columbine. Flipping switches, get dollar signs. Hey, yeah, I'm a motherfucking underdog. Hey, yeah, I'm a motherfucking underdog. Yeah, I'm a motherfucking underdog. Yeah, I'm a motherfucking underdog. Look.